go do that.
What? What? Huh? Oh.
What's up, YouTube? We're just gonna give people a chance to come in, get it together. Go ahead and clip and pin the link in the chat. Give everybody a chance to come in. We welcome you, welcome you. Don't forget to hit that like button and then give us a cool salute. Hey, how you doing? When you come on in. We're hoping to make this a interesting conversation amongst people. Hey, how you doing? You gonna say hello to people in TV land?
They see me all the time.
They do, they do, they do.
What's up, Queen? Man, stop hitting that man and while he's sleeping.
Hey,
please.
Queen.
Hitting that dude while he's sleeping. Yeah.
Yep, we got three people. We got three people watching, but that's me. You watching? Oh, I didn't realize you had that. I don't know. My brain is on pause.
What's happening, brother?
What's up, right side?
Good battle, though. Good battle. You gotta turn the TV off, quick. AJ64, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, you can't sleep with the TV on.
I'm with you, Quee. I can't either.
She be sleeping on that.
But I have a
DP, my dog. What's happening, bro?
I sleep induced. So it don't matter once I go to sleep.
I'm about to pull up on it in about 30, 45. Man, I'm glad y'all supporting me, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
All right, now Dub, I expect you to jump on that link and get up in this chat and get up on this panel. I expect AJ, I expect DP, I expect all of my black strong men to be on this panel. I don't want none. I don't want none. Because I need y'all up here. I need y'all up here. So we're gonna give y'all some time.
Oh, he said he at work.
Oh, okay. Because I'm ready for y'all today. I'm tired, but I'm ready. It's been a long day. I feel like I worked for real today. I've been up since 5 and I was at work at 6:15. We appreciate y'all stopping in. Hello, Mrs. Knockout. How are you, Queen? Appreciate you.
Yes. Knockout that. What are you doing?
I hope he gonna jump on this line.
Yeah. Y'all raising little one.
I mean, this is a special one, and I can't do it without more than one black man. Just want y'all to know, see these earrings right here? They say you can do all things through Christ, except come for me.
Except come for you.
Except come for me.
Ghetto bullshit. Ghetto as hell.
I love my earrings. Shit. Knockout. What's going on?
I got some good shit going on over there.
Oh, yeah?
Good debates.
I fell asleep on one. But they was good till I fell asleep.
Good debates.
I tried though, Knockout. I tried.
Damn. Brother Knockout.
So,
Knockout talk to you.
oh yeah. You talking about that debate you got coming up?
Oh no. Dwayne Freeman. I'm waiting for Dwayne to come up in here so I can get a little promotion tonight. Get a G with that. Yeah. We gotta get our promotion on. We gotta let the promotion. Gotta have the promotion. Shit.
Knockout. I didn't miss anything. Right side was just a nice dinner.
Oh. Right side. Can't come up and talk shit like that, bro. Wow.
Ooh. That's funny.
Damn.
8 minutes in. I just need to know where all my brothers at. I'm gonna give y'all like 15 minutes before I start really dragging for y'all. I just want you to know. I'm going to drag for every single one of them. I'm gonna drag for all of y'all. I know you will, babe. And I'm ecstatic for that. You can. You can. You absolutely can. You raised 2 boys. I raised 2 boys. This is going to be an interesting conversation.
And I need to get my pipes ready for when I tether Wayne Freeman ass up. Yeah. So
this is good right here.
My boy D Free. Love him to death, but I'm gonna have to cook his ass.
Slice him and dice.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him in the roast. Tenderize, put him in that Magnum like that. That motherfucker tenderize the whole boot. You understand?
Put a fork in him, he'll be all done. Aww. This is why.
Because we growing.
10 o'clock. We have 9 o'clock. Then we be tried when we be the ones turning into it be 3 hours. You get people calling talking about that was too long. Whew. Sometimes try to appease everybody. You can't please everybody. Just gotta pick the consistent ones and make them happy. Yep. What's up, Key? Hey.
He said Gino was getting my head done.
Oh yeah. Hey. She cute. Links in the chat.
Make me feel like I'm cheap.
Yeah. Wake up to a new person every day.
Anthony Johnson, salute.
This whole conversation, this whole platform for today is going to be about a very specific topic. So whenever you guys come on, that's when we'll start having this conversation.
But we need some participation.
Other than that, we're just going to be talking to each other. And y'all are just going to be watching, which ain't no fun.
No. All these niggas panels I be jumping on, y'all better come on, man. Shit.
Did Money go to sleep? You know, he did that the last time because he had a headache. So I don't want him to, use that as an excuse today. Because I might have to actually be like, but you promised. And when you promise, you keep your word.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. So, I mean, I'm just waiting. Take your time. We're just here doing nothing.
We about to kick it off. Without participation.
I said 15 minutes. I'm going to give y'all 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I'm going to get my hair and my nails done because I got an event on Sunday. Girl, it's bling. It's the little things that make me happy.
Big Grant Jr., my dog.
I don't know who that is.
Big Grant, my dog.
Okay. Hey, Jay Grant. His dog.
My dog. Big Grant, me and Big Grant be talking in the chat.
Of course you're at Costco's right now.
Nigga, you knew the show was coming on at 8.
Of course.
Should have been did that shit.
See? I mean, I had several things to do today, and I made it back just
2 minutes.
Yeah, then I'm going to give a synopsis.
That's right, Jay Grant. We Dev Nation. That's right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What? I know you're not going to talk about I got a man crush on Devin Haney. Boy, don't make me embarrass you in front of your wife behind Tank Davis, nigga. Don't tell me that bullshit. And he want if he could, he'll be having water, bringing water, Tank water, and let me carry your towels, Tank. Come on, Tank. You can't do no wrong in my eye. Omega Red, country. I got it.
Country, you can do that right here, yeah. Shoot, hold up. You should be able to do it. You can do it here. Yes, it is. Give me a second. Right here. See? You can do it from there.
Motherfucker, they'll break nickels with his thumbs.
Well, let me just say, I appreciate all of y'all coming in. Hit the like button. Give us a hey as you come through. And
there you go. Look at Gina.
Those sides on here.
Come on, Gina. Get home so you can come jump on here.
What's going on, right side?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up?
How y'all feeling tonight?
Hey, Gina. We're good. We're doing really good today. I'm a little tired because I've been going since 5 a.m., but I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna make it through. It's gonna be good.
Hey man, I told you I was rocking with y'all this week, so hey, I'm here. Let's do it. I'm ready when y'all are.
Well, we do appreciate you. So I said in 15 minutes, so I'm gonna give them their 30 seconds.
All right, cool.
I'm a woman of my word. And then I'm gonna give just a little synopsis of kind of what we're gonna be talking about. Until we get more people not scared to jump on the panel and have grown men conversations. This is mostly going to be a conversation of men, but I will chime in. And I hope my women in the chat will do the same as to how they believe or see things as we move through. The basic summary of this is how to replace or bring back the village mentality of raising Black sons in society today. And so I kind of want to, I have some stuff that I wrote up and some reading and stuff that I've had, but one of the phrases that I ran across that I used to hear in my house, and I'm sure that I've told both my sons before, is you will always have to work twice as hard just to be treated equal. And that is something, unfortunately, we do have to really beat into the minds of our youth, because right now they growing up strange, child. So I'm going to ask some questions, make some statements, and then what I want to do, just to be, hey, knockout,
What's up,
what I
y'all?
want to what I want to do so that we can just hear every person's view on what I'm going to say is kind of put you on a time limit of about a minute to a minute and a half of just a response, so that we can kind of move through these. Depending on the size of the panel, it may take a little bit longer. So the first question I have,
Look, 817.
what's up, Bat? 817. Sorry, I saw Batman. I had a moment just now. So what is the contradiction between teaching children to be brave, confident, and unafraid to pursue their dreams, and helping them understand that they won't always get the benefit of the doubt? So, right side, I'm gonna let Troy go first, and then you, since you came on first, and then knockout. Okay.
Let's do it.
So, what do you feel is the contradiction between teaching children to be brave, confident, and unafraid to pursue their dreams, and also helping them understand that they won't always get the benefit of the doubt?
I mean, I can tell you from examples as far as in the workplace, and playing sports. You know, I always grew up confident because my parents were confident, and my mom is more competitive than um, than most women are. Like my mom is extremely competitive. So, and that's because she played basketball. My mom's 86. 86. She just made 86. So, but she was extremely competitive. You know, just like with watching boxing and all of that stuff. You know, but you know, we have injustices in society, no matter what. Me working at the plant, you know, because I fought so hard for um, for the black people out there, I was kind of ostracized, and I was disappointed in the black people out there because they wouldn't stand up, and they would they would take anything, knowing that I'm better than most people that's out there. I still had to you know, my confidence never wavered, but they wouldn't put me in position to where I can make a change. So you don't always get the benefit of the doubt because they're gonna, like, in our society, and it's not just well, it is mostly in when you're dealing with a lot of people of the Caucasian persuasion, that you have to they're not gonna they're not gonna allow you to get away with what the other people get away with. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's been like that since forever, and we understand that. But how you deal with it is the most. You don't lose confidence because you know in your heart of hearts that you're better than these people at whatever task it is. So you don't. That's it.
That's it. I don't need you to talk no more, because you ain't even answer my question.
I am asking your question.
No,
I'm
you
using
didn't.
examples.
I understood your example, but there is a fine line of the contradiction. The contradiction is slight. It's not even a whole lot. Right side. You want me to repeat the question, dear?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. What is the contradiction between teaching children to be brave, confident, and unafraid to pursue their dreams, and helping them understand that they won't always get the benefit of the doubt in pursuing of those dreams.
So I think the contradiction between it is if I'm going to tell you to pursue your dream, but then at the same time say, now, even though you're going to pursue it and you're going to work hard for it, you may not get it because of the, like you said, you may not get that benefit of the doubt, but still go after it. I feel like I'm kind of setting them up for failure, but at the same time, I would want to push, and what I like to push to my son is it's about the work that you put in. Whatever work you put in, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be the result you get back. And so as long as you're working and you're doing your best at whatever you're trying to accomplish, then the work that you put in there is hopefully the results you reap. Now, if you run into a situation where somebody is trying to hold you back or something like that, then the best thing you can do is find other avenues around it and other ways to get to what your objective is. But at the same time, it's still going to require work. So I feel like as long as I'm teaching him to go in and put his best foot forward every day and to put it all out there on the line, even if he runs into those situations, it's not going to be something he can really help. But if he works, he can find a way around them. And at the end of the day, the only person, in my opinion, who can stop anyone from achieving their goals and objectives in life are themselves. So even if you do run into those obstacles, it just requires more work for you to get around it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at it.
All right. Okay, I appreciate it. So
Detroit, DC, what's up?
Before we get
Johnny
to knockout, we just saying hey to everybody that just joined us. Johnny Q, Detroit. We appreciate y'all stopping in. Knockout, same question. You need me to repeat?
No, I got it.
Okay.
So as a parent, I always teach my children to go after everything that they want and pursue their dreams. But the contradiction comes with trying to make them understand when you say that word, they're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt. I try to make my kids understand that being just as good as everybody else because of their skin color, because I have two daughters, so because of their skin color and their gender, and because of my son's skin color, being just as good as even the best person in your class or the best person at whatever you're doing, being just as good as them, it ain't gonna be enough in this world. And so you have to make it in your mind that you're gonna outwork everybody. You have to know that you got to be 2, sometimes 5, sometimes even 10 times better than people just to get your opportunity. Because I see it in my job every day. 2 people got the same exact background, same exact experience, but one of them name is Joe, and the other dude's name is Kyron. Joe gonna get that call. They're gonna call Joe before they call Kyron, and they don't even know these people, but just because of what their name is. So seeing stuff like that in everyday life, man, they just you want to push them to go for their dreams, and I always do. But I try to make them understand that contradiction. You can go for this. It's gonna be hard, but you need to go into this knowing that you got to be way better than your competition, because your competition have advantages that you don't.
Wow. I agree with all of y'all. I'm laughing because Troy is making fun of my alarm sound because it's Chewbacca. When my alarm goes off, it's Chewbacca. It's the small things that make me happy, y'all.
Amen.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 10 things. When parenting, you have to be intentional when you're doing things. It makes by making everything a teachable moment. And there are some rules that you can put into play. So I'm gonna give you each rule, same premise. I'm gonna 1:30 this time instead of 1:15, so everybody can get their thought out. What does it mean when I say be the parent?
Stop trying to be your kid's friend. When they little, you got time to be their friends if you make it to be old enough when they reach of age. But you stop being their fucking friend and make them do right and do what you tell them to do, not what. And I'm not asking. There ain't gonna be no asking. I'm gonna only ask you one time or tell you one time and get it done. That's it. I don't do a lot of talking, and My kids knew as they coming up, they grown men now. They grown men, and they doing well. So it was obviously I did something right. They both going through school and all of this shit, and they doing what they supposed to do. And so that's what it means. That's exactly what it means.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be your motherfucking friend till it's time to be your friend. But right now, it's just like a pledge process. I'm gonna build your ass up. I'm gonna knock you down to build you up. But then after you go over, we could be friends. But until then, you're gonna do what I tell you to do.
Okay. All right. Right side. I'm gonna give you. What does it mean when I say teach respect and etiquette?
So first thing I speak for myself is you always taught, you give respect to get respect, you know what I mean? So um defining that you want your child to go out and show each individual, you want them to treat them like they want to be treated, you know what I'm saying? You don't want them to go out and abuse another individual or take advantage of a person, and literally just showing respect as well as etiquette. Yes ma'am, no ma'am. Learning how to conduct yourself in front of any audience, being respectful to them, um, and presenting yourself in the right light, making sure that after or when that person leaves, that when they think of you, you know what I'm saying, they think very positively of you, they think highly of you, and they say, okay, this is an individual I can deal with. This is somebody that I wouldn't mind having around in my life or anything like that, regardless of what the relationship is. Just making sure you're conducting yourself at all times to the highest level that you can, and putting off the best vibes. I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but just putting that right energy in the universe, making sure that it's coming back to you full fold because of what you're putting out, and it draws people to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I can understand that. Knockout. I saved this one for you because it breathes. And when I read it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely a knockout thing. What is it? What do you think when I say set high standards?
Oh man, like the norm ain't good enough. Like my daughters, you doing high school work when you in junior high. You doing college work when you in high school, and you going into college already 2 years complete. We on the mission to get to life and be as successful as possible. Because if you don't set high standards for yourself, ain't nobody else out here gonna set high standards for you. Like the thing we just talked about, like the world already look at you as less than. So not only do you have to be way better, you got to set goals so far in the sky that you go out there and you obtain them. Because maybe you shoot, you know how the saying goes, shit, you shoot up there for the stars, maybe you land on the moon. Well, shit, the moon's still higher than everybody else. So you still gonna end up good. So when I hear set high standards, that's what we try to do with all our children. Like the normal, oh man, you passing, okay, you good. No, passing ain't enough. If that's a C, that shit need to turn to a B. If that's a B, that need to turn to an A. If it's all A's, we need to do advanced classes. If we doing good in the advanced classes, we need to see about trying to skip up grades and shit. Like we on the mission because life ain't gonna wait for you, and the world is gonna be very, very harsh. So you might as well try to jump ahead and get a head start on everything that you can. So, and I try to lead by example with that. Like I'm not lazy. Don't take off work much. When I say I want to go do something, I try to let them see that I'm doing it, so that they know. Like when you say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it. So that's pretty much what it means to me. To be real
Okay.
with y'all.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah,
I,
like with my boys, niggas they should have never showed me they was A student.
it's their fault.
Nigga, you should have never showed me. If you was a C student, that's the best you could do. And I'm like, you know what?
Coach, you not lying. My daughter was making B's, coach. She was making B's and C's. And she was like, Dad, I want a guinea pig. I want a guinea pig. I say, you bring me home all A's, I'll get you a guinea pig. I ain't want no damn guinea pig. I didn't want no guinea pig in my house. They stink. Man, she bought me home straight A's. I was like, congratulations, here go your guinea pig. But you didn't show me you can get straight A's, so that's the expectation moving forward. She ain't got no
Nah,
straight A's since, bro. So I feel exactly what you're saying, man.
I know you fucking off if you come home, if you get C's and I get you help and I help you and all of this shit and all you still getting a C, that's fine. But when you start off, I can't complain. She got a fucking genius too. So, but like, you show me that you making A's, bro, I expect A's because that showed me all I want from you is your best. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And you started off showing me you make A's. So, nigga, from now on, I need A's.
Okay. So, what does it mean to you when I say help them with decision making?
What does it mean?
Mhm.
What age group?
Pick an age group.
I mean, you got to give me an age group because, like, right now, I mean, I give them advice. I'll talk to them and say, look, bro, maybe you need to do this way. You know, they can take that advice or not because they grown. But as a kid, I'll do that, but then I'll be like, but it's more of a, listen, you need to do it this way. And that's it.
And see, as I was growing up and when I raised my boys, for us, we grew up in a family where everyone had a right to feel how they feel. And express how they felt as long as it was respectful. And it didn't necessarily change the outcome of the decision that I was going to make in the end, but it did help them to understand that when you're making decisions, case in point, my eldest son wanted to get his ears pierced, and I'm not a trendy parent. So I was like, if you want your ears pierced, tell me why, for number one. Why is it important for you to have your ears pierced at 13? Why can't you wait? 2, do you understand the potential ramifications of getting your ears pierced? And 3, do you understand the medical potential symptomatics that are attached to getting your ears pierced? And I had him do that research and bring it to me so that when he made a decision, he was fully informed prior to making that decision. That's how I assisted my children in making decisions. And I had done that from the moment they understood yes and no. So, with that being said, right side, you're a parent of a young child. What does it mean when I say teach life skills?
All right, so and that's a good one for me. One of the things I like to do with my son, we talk about money, right? And trying to get him to understand because he wants to, Daddy, I want this right here and I want this right here, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. So we got to work to get some money so we can get these type of things that we want. Now, some things I'm going to get you, and this is just an example of a life skill that I want to impart on him. Some things I'm going to get you, but then I'm going to show you that you need to work. You're going to have to work in life to make the money that you want to buy the things that you want. And also, once you do it, you want to make sure you're spending and investing that money in the right way as well. So if you're going to go cut the grass, or you're going to go clean or wash all the dishes, which the dishes is kind of what you're supposed to do anyway, so that don't count. But if you're going to go to your grandmother's house and help out over there, and you're going to get some form of payment, then when you get that money, now you get to spend some of it, but all of it you can't spend. If you get $10, then 5 of it is expendable. You know what I'm saying? You got 5 to spend there. Now the other 5 you need to go ahead and we're gonna save that, and you're gonna save it up and put it into whatever fund or whatever you want in the future. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we can try to grow that money if possible, but at the same time, at 7 years old, it's really kind of good to show you exactly how to grow your money, you know what I'm saying, with $5. But at the same time, I want you to understand that whatever job you have, when you do get paid, you can't go spend all that on what you want. You know what I'm saying? You need to put some of it back so you'll have something to fall back on when hard times come along, as well as learning how to manage your money and making sure that you've you've put things in proper perspective as far as what's important and what you should be spending your money on, and then going and spending the rest on leisure activities or whatever you'll do as you get older. So just trying to impart those things that they're not going to teach in school necessarily, but those things that are going to be very critical to you as you move forward in life.
Okay. Well, since you said that, when we are, all of us have, I taught my kids early how to, when they think money, what that looks like. I taught that early. So Knockout, I want you to piggyback on what Dub just said and tell me, when I say teach them about money early on, I'll give mine after you give yours. What does that mean?
That means I let them know that all of this stuff that we get for them, it costs money. So all of my children, when they're able to work at 15, they all got jobs, and I started making them buy some of their own things, and I started showing them, hey, this bill that I pay, this how much it costs. Not because I don't have the money, but this month you're gonna pay half of it, I'm gonna pay half of it. So save some money, keep money set aside, because all of this stuff that you've been doing from the time you was, I give you 15 years. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. I got you. But once you turn 15, unless you just got all these extracurricular activities, you're gonna get a job. And even if you got extracurricular activities, you're gonna have a job during the summer. But you're gonna work, because I've been working for the past 20 years and I'm only in my 30s. So you gotta work so that you can have money to buy the thing. You have to understand. I think I might have froze up. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So for me, money just means I have to teach them how to earn it. I have to teach them how to save it. I have to teach them how to spend their money and prioritize it the correct way. Bills and living and being able to provide yourself sustenance and a roof, that always has to come first on top of what you want. So when I teach them that, then they'll be successful. So that's the main thing that I try to teach them about money. Number one, you got to work for it. Nobody's just gonna be running around here giving you money. Number two, you got to prioritize the way you spend it, and your needs need to be met before you start looking at all this extra stuff that you want to buy yourself. And that's pretty much kind of just basically how we do it, without going into too much detail, because I could talk about it for a long time. But that's kind of all it is.
Yeah. So when I was teaching my kids about money, I started really early. I started with chores are a responsibility in the house. School is your job. And so when my kids wanted something, I was kind of like you, bring me this and I will get you that. And that's their first introduction to a transaction, right? And so once they got to a different stage, when they were middle school, that 6th, 7th, 8th grade type of thing, we started switching to extra chores would earn money, and then how that money could move into something else. We had a board up and everything. It had stars and glitter. I was very excited about being a parent. And once they reached 16, 17 is when I got them an account with Navy Federal. And so they had a youth account. And in that youth account, if they were working, all their money went there. And then I got them the little teenage credit cards so that they can understand how to make that payment. And so they had a certain limit, which meant every month they had $200 they can spend. They had to earn $200. And so they had the card, they can buy whatever they wanted. And I would never question it. But once it was gone for the month, it was gone. And then if the bill was due on the 15th or the 20th and they had did all of their chores, then I would put the money in the bank and then they would have to pay their bill. And my son had asked, well, why do we do it that way versus I can just take the money in the bank and pay the bill? I said, you don't build credit that way. So if you pay everything with your credit card and then when you get paid, you pay off the credit card, you are getting what you want, but you are also building credit. And in this life, credit is king. If you don't have good credit, you can't do anything. And so that came about, just as a note, that came about because I watched way too much Cosby. And that episode where he made Theo deal with Monopoly money and shit like that, I was sold on it after that.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode. He took all his money, man.
All his money.
He took all of it. Like, you got your mortgage, you got to pay your interest. I was like, dang, Bill, that's messed up, bro.
He took out the taxes first. That was his first experience. What is FICA? What is this? I remember that first check, and you be like, who the hell is all my money going to? Let me explain it to you. I do think that we as Black parents have to teach our sons and daughters about financial security and what that looks like. And if we don't teach it early, we are doing them a disservice because they don't learn it in school until they reach college. So
if they learn it then.
If they learn it
well,
then.
My thing is this is what they don't teach in college. What they don't teach, what I wanted to do, this is a dream of mine. If I can open an after school business and have people who are finance people come in and teach our Black children about the stock market, how to invest, and all that kind of stuff, because
that's what white people do.
You understand? So that's one thing that I wish that I can get together, even if it's investors or whatever, to build community centers that teach financial responsibility, where they know about the stock market. By the time they get to be, whatever money they get as kids, start investing in the stock market and know how to do it with options and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing that our community lacks extremely bad, financial literacy. So, that's one thing if I can get people who's in that business, who are investors and stuff like that, to come in and teach our children the importance of finance and money, man, that would help our community out a lot.
Coach, it's crazy you say it, because when I was coaching my stepson, this probably was 2015 or so, it was in a majority white area, and one of the coaches with us, a white guy named Jeff, on one Saturday, this was before the season started, anything like that, football. And instead of practicing, he was like, well, I just want to have a friend of mine. He deals with business, and I want him to come in and just talk to the fellas, and at the time, these are 6th, 7th graders, something like that. And he was, I just want him to come in and just kind of talk to them about the different ways to invest their money, what real estate is. And because I know all of the parents, they're not teaching it. So we could have somebody just one day have them come in. And it was interesting because even when we brought the idea out to the parents, a lot of the parents showed up for it as well. And when the parents were leaving, they were saying, man, this was such a good idea. We learned stuff in this class, and I hope the kids took some from it. But even if they didn't, I got some things I can go back and kind of try to reinforce with the kids. So, yeah, you definitely got a lot of times finding those different resources to come in, especially, like you said, a community center or wherever there's a large group of individuals that in the community, having somebody come in and teach at that level can be very beneficial for a lot of individuals, not just the kids, but the parents as well, to help the kids grow that knowledge. And like I said, a lot of the parents, they were more excited about it than the kids were. But because they were so excited, I felt like there's a good chance, not all of them, of course, but if we can reach 3 or 4 and get those parents to really show those kids how to apply some of the different skills that the guy he was talking about, it seemed like it was a really good idea. I wish I was still in contact with him. I'm not, but it did. I felt like it was really effective.
OTB, my brother, thanks for popping in, bro. You can jump on this panel if you want to. But you know, I was just talking about that, man. Our kids don't have financial. We you know, just look at our community, bro. A lot of our kids, they spending money on tennis shoes and clothes and all this shit that don't grow. You know what I'm saying? We the biggest consumers on the planet, but we not generating generational wealth. You know, there's a little kid, I forgot his name, but he started at 7 years old on the stock market because his mom, he started learning through his own. He just wanted to know, and his mom ended up spending like 25 grand, and she learned how to operate on the stock market and started teaching him. Right now, that kid's 13. Well, he's about 15 now, and man, he's a millionaire at 15 years old, behind just learning the stock market and learning about finances. And that's one thing that we don't do because most of us are ignorant to it. Most of us, you know, the last few years I've been learning about the stock market. And you know, I'm invested in stuff like that, but you know, we our priorities in our communities is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And this is where our children, because think about it. We got kids that's out there right now, and I see them every day. They doing shit. They spend it. They out in the streets, and they, you know, they hustling. They doing shit. You know, they hustling. But then when shit happens, they end up broke. And not only that, they out there hustling, and they got great minds, but their minds are directed into doing stuff that's not conducive to their health.
Facts.
You understand? They got great minds. I know some dudes that's smart as shit, but if it's not directed in the right way, and they got the hustle in them, they got the drive, they got the hustle. You know what I'm saying? So
I think the biggest
they would do well.
I think the biggest thing is our children, because we are, and I'm only going to speak about on average the where they're coming from, right? So where they're coming from, I would say they're just raised to show they have money versus, you know, learning how to make their money make money. So when you see a Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, rest in peace, they didn't dress like they had millions. Bezos does not dress like he has billions of dollars.
Look at Warren Buffett.
Buffett doesn't dress like he has all the money he has. But he you know he has it, but his money is not based on the clothes that he wears. You know, we think we as Black people, our children think that it's about Gucci and Prada and Louis and those companies bank on that. And it's mostly exacerbated by, I want to be like LeBron, and LeBron wears. But on average, when you see LeBron just chilling and stuff, he regular. Shaq, regular.
Yeah.
Shaq be at Walmart for real.
Yeah. Quick. You in there? She was talking about her son.
And you know the oh, go ahead, Coach. My bad.
See, you were talking about it. You're talking about that you ought to be super proud of him. I mean, so that's a tough situation, you know.
Let's move to battle. 5 steps forward and 2 steps back, but he graduated on time. What are you doing? Oh, I was reading. Oh, okay. Well, say that. Show it so I can see it. I can read it. My son is 20 with an intellectual disability. I'm not ashamed of it at all. He embraces it and tries really hard. It just takes him a little bit longer to grasp the concept.
Do we know about that?
We do know about that. So it's not different. A lot of times people tend to want to say it's not a disability, it's a different ability. And my son is autistic. And so it's her next statement right there. My son is autistic. He has Asperger's. And I never wanted him to feel, we and I have had a similar conversation. I never want him to feel like he's different. And so I never taught him that he had a disability. I just told him that he learned different. And so it was a different ability. Not everybody learns the same. Not everybody moves the same. Society likes putting on these disability labels and tagging. Everybody wants a goddamn label. I don't need no label on my child. He learned when he learned. He graduated high school. He tried college. It wasn't for him, but he is working. He pays his own bills. He lives in a house all on his own. He is functional. And that's all you can ask with children with disabilities or different abilities.
It's interesting, Asperger's. So I worked with a guy, and he had the same or a similar condition, but smart as a whip. I mean, on the job, this dude remembers things that you have. I mean, that the majority of my team had, they couldn't remember or figure out. He can figure it out. Now, when he sends it to you, he gonna write you a whole document on what's going on. But that's how he operates. He pays attention to detail. Now, when it comes to social skills, he's a little awkward at times, but at the same time, the brilliance is there. And so trying to make sure that they understand that they're brilliant in their own right, and making sure they're accenting those characteristics that they have, is nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, a lot of times it's some of the smartest people have what people would consider a disability, but like you said, no, it's a different ability, because they're thriving in ways. They may not be the most social person, but where they do thrive, they thrive much more than the regular person does. And so it all depends on how you work with them and how you define it to them and how you push them. You know what I mean? You don't push them the same way you would push an individual who doesn't have the qualities that they do. But if they do have those qualities, then you make sure that they excel tremendously with the qualities that they have. And I believe everybody can do that in society.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the things that he loves, that's his focus. Like computer programming, shit like that. Like this motherfucker can computer program shit and write programs for like
he does a lot of anime programs and stuff like that.
Bro, I don't know what the fuck he'll be talking to me, and I'll be like, okay.
We built his computer together from scratch.
Yeah, but I bet really into that. You know what I'm saying? And as you were working with him, he probably felt he probably was super excited being that you were able to work with him on it, and that you were willing to work with him. And it's funny because a lot of times, hell, I know a little about building computers. I worked at Best Buy, so I know a little about it. I ain't never built one myself, but at the same time, I do understand the individuals that I talked to coming into Best Buy. You could always tell they may be a little different, but they have a love and a passion for something, and they could talk to me even though I'm working in the store and I deal with all this equipment all the time. They talk circles around me, talking circles around me. You know what I mean? So it goes into what they love, and with all of it, same thing with my son. One thing I always tell him, hey, if do you want to play football? He's like, no, I want to play soccer. I'm cool with it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about soccer, but it's going to push me to learn a little more because I want to be involved with you when you're playing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not necessarily about what they like, just making sure whatever they do like, you say, hey, okay, if that's what you like, then that's what we're gonna go for.
Yeah.
We gonna go ahead.
And understanding, I'm sorry, and understanding what that different ability, how it limits one move and what the adjustment is to still make the same move. Because my son, he wanted a job. He worked at Rouse's, which is a grocery store. He got fired because he is an inquisitive child. And a gentleman was in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair was decorated, and he made a comment about the wheelchair. And the gentleman took it the wrong way, and my son ended up being fired. Then we rolled into another job, and he didn't like being a cashier because he couldn't count fast enough to do that. And they put him in the back, and I had to call his employer, have a full-on conversation with them, let him know what the situation is, how he functions, that he's a task-driven child. So you have to give him a task, and you can't give him multiple tasks. You have to give him a task, let him complete it, give him another task, have him complete it, because if you give him multiple tasks, he's going to lose it somewhere. And so he started being a food prep. And when I tell you this little boy fell in love with making pizza,
Love me.
and started working at Papa John's, and he has had 3 raises since he started working at Papa John's in the middle of the pandemic.
Excelling.
Yes. He love it. He
Love it.
fucking making pizza.
He will do pizza every day. He get mad when they tell him he gotta take a day off from work. I just, it's just when you have those situations, we are so, I've seen it, not just my kids, but I've seen it when a kid has a different ability in learning. Instead of, so they have, when a kid is showing an exceptional ability to learn, they move them up. They always talk about moving them up, right? Let's skip a grade. They can do this, give them more work, But when you have a child that's a little behind, they want to stick them all in one class. They want to just shift them all to special ed. But special education is not for all of them.
Yeah, it's not for
They have
everybody.
a purpose, but it's not for everybody who has a learning different ability. He has, he has Asperger's, and so when he's learning things, he can't learn and look at the same thing, which made no sense to me. I ain't gonna lie. If he was in math class, he would have to be reading a book to comprehend what the teacher was lecturing about math. I wrapped it around my head and said, I just don't get it. But then I realized I doodle on my tablet when I'm in lecture, when I used to be in lecture, especially for my master's, when I was in lecture. And so I was like, I guess it's similar. It's the same thing. And so when we were teaching our children, it was about making sure that we understood his abilities and limitations, so that once we understood the limitation, then we can just redirect the pathway so he can still get to the same outcome.
And that's really what it's about. Making sure that they can get to that same outcome, making sure they can live a positive, successful life. And I agree with you when you said, pushing all the kids to one class. Well, if one kid is a savant in math, the other one is a savant in reading. Now they struggle at every other subject, but they're savants in those subjects. Then we need to make sure, pushing them to one class. Then that person who is a savant in math, the one who is a savant in reading, their level of understanding of the two subjects are totally different. So now you got a whole bunch of kids in the same class with total different abilities to learn different subjects, but we're teaching them all the same subject in the same way still. It doesn't make sense when you do that.
Especially when your classes are naturally overcrowded in the schools that most of our kids end up attending, right? You know, I can't focus my energy on you because you take a little longer, which is I appreciated the school that my nieces go to, because they had that round table set up where you have, you know, a group of tables where these like-minded kids learn at the same pace. So they don't lose traction because of a child that is not learning at that pace. They are challenged by their peers at the same rate, at the same pace, still learning the same lesson concurrently across all of the tables. And when you teach that, just like you always want to, there always no child left behind, all of these little sayings and these little taglines that people like to say. But the truth of no child left behind is that you are teaching, you got to meet a person where they at. Children are no different than that. You got to meet that child where they are so that you can lift them up at their pace, at their stage, so that they can be exceptional in the end. And I think that's where we fall, because a lot of these parents, especially young parents, you know, you got 16-year-old parents, 15-year-old parents, because these children are trying to be way more grown than they need to be too fast. Now, your mama, the grandma, the mama, the daughter, they all in the club, getting the same drink, trying to get on the same guy. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know, sometimes that happens too. And you know, there is no fundamentals being passed down. You know, my mother had me at 15. Thank God she had my dad. and my grandmother and my great grandmother and my dad's mom. So I had 6 generations from me going back that held me down, taught me lessons, explained for me the understanding of why everyone, fundamentally, the basics of everything, people just want to understand the why. And sometimes it might take you a little longer to explain the why to a child because they come back with the same question, but why? And you just have to keep explaining it in a way that they understand. And once we start doing that, once we start losing that, we started getting what we have now. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm fearful, because my generation, our generation just built different. We grew up when they didn't have shit, when technology started coming through. And now we were here, so we understand both sides. So you know, I'm not just in this right here. Although I do like my phone, don't get it twisted. But I didn't know. I like meeting people face to face. I like being out, and I find that my kids, I had to strip them. I mean, I remember locking my children outside. Stay outside, go play
all the time. Hey. Look, when I and I was lucky. I told y'all last time, you know, I grew up with my great grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother. My mother, while she was in school, you know, the majority of the time I was with my great grandmother or my grandmother. And I remember me and my grandma, we talked about this the other day. Me and my son, we went to see her, and she was saying we were talking about, we were in the store one time, and I would just be asking question after question after question. And the lady says to my grandmother, she's like, how do you just sit here and you just sit there and answer? How do you have so much patience with him? And she was like, he just want to know. He just trying to figure out what's going on. And one thing, I'm not nearly as patient as she is, but I'm more patient than most. You know what I mean? And so because of the way I was brought up, so I can answer those questions. And I don't, you know, one of the worst things that you can say is to a child when they say why, because I told you so. You ain't no question once you said that. You ain't given any understanding, any explanation, and now it's just do what I say, regardless of what's behind it. And a lot of times when you can help a person understand the reasoning behind it, then they have no problem doing it. They have no problem. But if they don't see the reason and the logic with it, then you're going to get much more pushback than you normally would because it doesn't make sense to them. And so when you can make it make sense, then there's a lot more compliance regardless of what the situation is. As long as I can make it make sense to you and help you understand how it's going to benefit you, then you still may not want to do it, and I'm going to make you do it. But at the same time, if I can help you understand why and help you comprehend what I'm asking you to do and how it's going to benefit you, then in the long run, when you do start to understand more, you can remember some of those lessons and apply them as you get older in life.
Y'all hit the like button. Whoever in there will hit the like button.
Yeah. So I'm going to make this statement because I've heard it and I do have an interpretation of it. I don't feel that way. I feel the way that of the phrase that I'm going to say. I agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with the female interpretation of what that sounds like. So the phrase is only a man can raise a man. I agree with that statement. I think that is the most valid statement out. What I don't agree with is when some people say it's a knock. So the female interpretation of that one phrase, only a man can raise a man, is filtered and transcribed in what we hear is, if a man is not in your life, your son will never be a real man. You as his mother aren't enough. You aren't even qualified to raise him. I agree with some of that, not all of it. Because when you say only a man can raise a man, that part is like right up in here, right? A mother can teach, a single mother can teach her son values and morals and respect and, what to do, how to cook, how to clean, all of those life skills and experiences. A woman can teach all of that. But there is this one area of that a woman can never teach because she never understands what it is to be a man. There are things that men go through no matter what color you're, white, black, green, or gold. I know. But whatever color you are, as a man, there is still fundamentally something that is done that you go through, that you experience, that a woman never experiences and would never understand. And that is the piece that you have to start wrangling in. And I think Kwee said it too. You wrangle in your uncles, you wrangle in your brothers, if you have any, you wrangle in some of those trusting Black men friends that you have. You take them and be a coach at football, and that booster, they don't really do boosters no more, like talking about it. But you would surround that child with as many men to teach them those pieces that a woman can never teach.
And then they're right.
Right. That's what I mean.
Can't be the uncle or the fucking cousin who out there.
Well, right.
Can't be that one.
Right.
Nah, nigga, don't stay away from my kid. You can't. When you fucking say nothing because you ain't doing nothing but fucking up. What you gonna teach?
No, that's it. And so when we say a man can only raise a man, so then other things come into question. So you have men and then you have males, right? Just because you're a male doesn't make you a man. And because of that, that's even me growing up, even though, like I said, I was raised by 3 women, I spent a lot of time with my cousins' fathers, you know what I'm saying? My uncles. And it's like they weren't my uncle, they were whatever they were, but a lot of my uncles. And it is interesting the lessons that I learned. And even I remember I was probably 7th, 8th grade, somewhere in there, and you start to smell yourself a little bit, and my grades started to drop, and I was always an A student coming up, and then start to smell yourself, and my grades started to drop. Well, my mom did. She was like, okay, I got you for the summer. You're gonna go stay with your cousin, and my cousin we stay in the same town, and you're gonna work with your uncle. And my uncle, he lays bricks and he does not necessarily construction work, but he lays bricks, concrete, that type of thing. And so for a whole summer, I'm out there, I'm wheelbarrowing concrete and learning how to bull float concrete and doing everything that I don't want to be doing right now. I want to be playing basketball. I want to be playing with my friends, playing football, that type of thing. But what that allowed me to understand was multiple things. Working with my cousin and his dad, my uncle, it gave me a sort of a discipline. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that, okay, I got to be disciplined to get through what I'm going through as far as school goes for two reasons. First reason is I don't want to be out here. The second reason is for me not to be out here and not to have to do this type of work, for me to do easier job and make more money than if I get my education and I learn the right way, you know what I'm saying, and I focus on school, then I don't have to do this strenuous work and I can still make a lot of money. And so it was a lot of things going in there, but I say that to say, even then, I got an uncle who he always been in the streets, you know what I'm saying? And I never stayed with him, never hung with him, nothing. You know what I mean? But the reason being is because Big Mom, she knew, my grandma knew, my mama knew, they were like, if I send him over there, then although that's a male, he gonna be teaching my son all type of stuff that I don't want him to learn. Whereas if I send him with what I consider a man, then he's gonna get those different life lessons and it'll help grow him as a man. And so you don't necessarily have to be, it doesn't have to be a man in the house. That's preferable. But if it's not, you still want to make sure that man influence is around him to show him when you come across certain situations, how to be mentally strong, how to go through those situations and come out on the other end successful. And so not saying a woman can't do that, but also saying that a man has more perspective on it and can give certain tips that women may not know or may not be able to provide. And so that term is, in my opinion, is a man raising a man. It really has to be a man, not necessarily just a male. And just because you have certain body parts or, certain chromosomes, that don't make you a man. And so, I think that term, it kind of gets conflated at times because people, they don't always want to say what a man is.
Yeah. And I think what it does is society tends to pull that, right? So, you get the angry Black woman and she's like, I need a real man. It don't even mean what it's supposed to mean on the side when we're saying real men, but it's like a woman, not just because a woman gives birth to a child, it doesn't make her a mother. It just means that she's a female that gave birth to a child. There is a certain thing that happens for a mother. I can tell you many women that give birth to a child and want nothing to do with it. And it has nothing to do with postpartum depression. There's no connection.
And not only that, they slow. Some you have the ones who it slows them down to where they want to be in the streets and shit, doing shit they're supposed to be doing, hanging out. It's like a burden to them, This is what you.
And it's interesting. Oh, go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead.
It's interesting because one of my cousins who I used to hang with all the time, you know what I'm saying, and learn so many lessons from his dad. Even now, he took a different path than his dad, and he a brilliant. I was going to bring this up earlier. Some of this cousin right here, he's a genius with math, but the way he chose to use his math is, hey, you want to know about a pound, a kilo, you want him to break all of that down to you, he can break it down. You feel me? But then instead of using it in that way, there are so many other ways that he could use it. The other thing is one of his dad's biggest hobbies was growing up was working on cars, and he grasped all of that. And so outside of just that other outside work that he does, he works on cars. He's a mechanic now, and he's able to. I mean, growing up, we built well, not even we. I was just kind of there with him because I didn't have that mechanical mindset that he has. But I've sat there with him for hours and watched him build multiple go-kart motors. Watch him take apart a carburetor, put it back together, see if it works. If it don't work, this how we gonna get the go-kart to run the fastest, and just the way he thinks. He's a brilliant individual as far as his mindset goes. The only problem is sometimes what he chooses to use that mindset for is the wrong thing. Whereas I always tell, and his nickname is Buddy. And I always tell my cousin, I'm like, bro, you are one of the most brilliant individuals. You just put your time and activities into the wrong things. That's it. You know what I mean? But, it's your choice. I can't tell you how to live your life. But at the same time, he's a brilliant individual for whether it's dealing with math, whether it's dealing with any. We took one of my toy cars apart. This man, I watched him take it apart, put it back together, make it faster than it's ever been. And I'm saying here, I don't know how we just did this, but we did it. And it's just that mindset that he has. So I always tell him, bro, you could put your energy and effort into other things and be much more successful and not even have to worry about the law. You know what I mean?
I got plenty of friends like that. Plenty that I grew up. Most of them gone now, but plenty of them. Brilliant. And they just didn't want to do the right thing, And then they didn't have, like I said, I was lucky. I grew up with a great father. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't play with him because he'll bust your ass.
Yeah, he would.
You know what I'm saying? So he, I learned how to do carpentry work from 9 years old. I was carrying shingles on the roof.
Speaking of that, is it just me or is it trade skills are just not as
don't get me started on
I mean, trade skills give you wealth.
Community.
When we as Black people stop teaching our kids trades and skills,
not
and
us.
They took it out of the school.
There you go. When they took it out of the school systems, like mechanic work, welding, carpentry, all of this shit, they took all of that out. That stopped us from growth because of the fact of we could start our own businesses and work for ourselves instead of going and work for somebody else. Mm-hmm. A trade in most cases, is more important than an education in a college.
That's right.
Because you can start your own business. You can start your own mechanic shop. You can start your own carpentry. You can landscaping. All kinds of different stuff.
Electrician. Yeah.
But those are still things that we used to trade. We used to teach. My daddy taught first thing my daddy taught me when I got a car. You need to learn how to change your own tires, change your own oil, and at least identify the sounds of your car. That's what my daddy taught. That's 3 girls. All of us were taught the same thing. I remember my first husband. I taught him how to change a car tire.
Yeah, that nigga.
So my dad, that was one of the things that my dad taught me. I want you to need a man for whatever the fundamentals of a husband and a wife. But you're not gonna need nobody. If your shit break down on the highway, I need you to be able to put this shit together, get your car back on, and keep it pushing so nothing happens and you get home in good. That's just how it was. But those skills my dad taught me.
They got dudes now. That's how come I call them weirdos, these little youngsters. But they got kids, these motherfuckers 20 years don't know how to change a tire.
Can't change a damn tire.
This shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I know I was shocked. I was like, you don't know how to change a tire?
The fuck?
He had to get down on the ground and be like, look, see that little notch right there? That's where you're gonna put it. You just lift it up and then you got it.
Yeah.
Chabu. My husband taught me how to change my brake. Shit. You can learn anything on YouTube University.
That's another thing. Shit, everything on YouTube.
But go ahead.
But like I said, man, I was carrying shingles up on the roof at 9 years old. So I learned how to do carpentry work. I can do a lot of shit. And like I said, the biggest problem that's one of the worst things that they could have did, and I think it was done on purpose. they took out trade in these schools, man.
No,
That hurt our community very bad, you know.
they did even worse than they didn't just take it out. They looked down upon it. When I was in school, you know what I'm saying, you had career tech, where you would go and the majority of it would be learning possibly a trade or pushing to learn a trade, you know what I'm saying? Or you had college prep. And a lot of times, even when it came to football, when it came to playing sports, those type of things, if you were a career tech in that program, you weren't in the college prep program, then you were looked down upon, and they may say, okay, you got to meet these qualifications versus somebody who's to play football versus somebody who's college prep. They only have to meet these qualifications. You know what I'm saying? And it started making individuals go more toward that college route. And that at the end of the day, the trades are so important. And once again, talking about my uncles, one was an electrician, you know what I'm saying? And the other one, he's like I said, he does brick work, cement work, all that kind of stuff. I know how to frame foundations, frame whatever I need to. If I'm pouring concrete, I done laid sod. I done built the house, or not necessarily the house. I done literally carry every log for a building that's been put together. You know what I mean? Shingles. I've done damn near, I ain't gonna say everything, but I ain't never did plumbing work. I've never done plumbing work, but I do have a cousin who's a plumber. But I will say I have all those skills, and I do know how to do those things if it comes down to it, just because that's kind of growing up in the country, bro. That's what you learn. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things that most of the people, the older individuals that you're around, that's what they have. They have a trade. And so taking that trade out of school, even like my cousin now, he's a truck driver. Man, you do really well as a truck driver these days. You can do really
hell yeah.
And
yeah. My best friend is a truck driver. I got cousins.
Hold up, babe.
Out there in Dallas.
Hold up, babe. Hey, G5. Hey, boo. Thank you for joining us, baby.
Yeah, my kids is on my helmet like a cowboy star. I had like, oh shit, let me get a break. Jesus. I was getting asked 82 questions in 2 minutes. I'm like, look, eat. Eat this food now.
Do anything.
I do all right in life. I ain't rich now. We ain't wasting food now. Shit. I heard y'all in here dropping these gems. I said, let's check them out in here. I said, man, let me hop up here before they tap out on us tonight.
Yeah, man. You know, that's a big thing though, man. That's how back in the day that black folks started their own business, when they learned trades. And you know, and it's just what it is. In our communities, we don't have, I mean, you don't have a lot of people that do a lot of trades and have their own companies. And I mean, that's a sad thing, and it hurt out. And they took it out federally. That's what caused all of this. You know, so you know,
and if you have a trade, going to trade school is much cheaper than going to college, right? Much cheaper. And when you jump out, you know, you're ready to do whatever your career that you went as far as trades go. You got that for life. Nobody can take a trade from you. Yeah. Where a lot of times when you go to college, right, and especially I went to college for communications. And so, you know, I got a pretty broad degree. Damn near every company has a communications department with them. So, you know, I kind of have a little flexibility there. But at the same time, once you have that trade, you know what I mean, you can start your own company. You can go ahead and start being an entrepreneur. You can get with somebody else, and y'all can make who has a different trade, and y'all can become even larger together. And once it's building the community, whereas a lot of times with the college degrees, even though you have one, man, I know guys, I know people who got general study degrees, right? I'm not even sure what general studies is, just to be honest. No disrespect.
That mean they took a lot of classes and didn't have a major.
Right.
That's what they did.
That's exactly right.
I know what that means.
But they're going to make 3 times the money a tradesman will.
That's not always true, because I know guys with general studies degrees right now that they done been in marketing firms and they done been over here and over there, can't hold a job down because at the same time they're always one of the most expendable people because you don't have you're not specific in anything that you're talking about. And so if AT&T says, hey, this is what we got going on, we need you to move here, I'm good, because with communications I do have some flexibility there. And I always, like I said, but I've seen individuals who came in when I started as in what they call the college graduate program or whatever. Guys with general studies degrees, they're gone from the company. They were always the first that AT&T was like, all right, we don't need y'all no more, so you can go. Whereas those individuals who had different degrees, especially engineering, those type of things, then they've been held on. And so, I'm 11 years in with them, and it's like, okay, I can kind of see, and I've continuously progressed very well in my career. I have no problem with it. But at the same time, there is a difference, because when you do have that trade, you can become your own boss. You can become that entrepreneur, and then you can bring your kids in, and they don't even have to necessarily go to school to do what you're doing, because you can teach them that trade. So I think that the trade, I still think trade school or having a trade is more important than a degree right now. I still think that, even though I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum.
Right.
I think it's 50-50. Now it depends on what your job field is. Like if you go for a trade, you going for a job that you're gonna be doing manual labor, those work well for you, real well. Now if you go into a corporate America shit, degrees seem to work better. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, because you went to school. I mean, trade school is a school too, but I mean, it's like you learn on the job training, getting certificates, and they looking at degrees and accolades and shit when you go into corporate America when they think of a degree. That's how I kind of look at it. But I laugh at them. I'm like, yeah, y'all dressing up in a suit and tie every day, and I make more money than most of those people that graduate with me. And I'm like, shit, I'm on YouTube Live while I'm working 5 to 6 hours while y'all over here stressing, getting called in meetings and mad and shit. Nope.
Let me ask you a question. And this is specifically for our children, but our sons. At what age does a young boy start being judged purely for his skin color and not his character?
Oh, that's a hard question. If I have to give an age, I say I'm gonna speak from experience. Then I said, let me see. I think I started driving when I was 16. 16 was when it really started to affect me, as far as being judged by skin color versus character. From the time I was in school, I've always prided myself on my character. You know what I'm saying? I've always had what I would consider high character. And in school, I was looked at as someone with high character. But when I did start driving, and once again going into what we talked about earlier, trying to help on decisions that individuals make, especially kids, I wanted to grow my hair out. I wanted to have braids, that type of thing. And what I realized is my first car was an '89 Lincoln Town car. The Steelmobile is what we called it, right? Full front seat, full back seat, deep trunk. And when I started driving that car, one of the reasons that my mom got it for me is because the guy was like, hey, one thing I can promise you is if he get in a wreck, he gonna come out of it, regardless of what happens, coming out of it, because
feels different.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing was I got pulled over so many times in that car and didn't get a ticket. You know what I mean?
Pimp mobile, baby.
Say it again.
You was in a pimp mobile. That's why.
And I didn't look at it that way, but it was crazy because then as it continued to happen, it got so bad that at 17 years old, my mom, she's going up talking to the police station because she's like, okay, look, y'all done pulled my son over this many times. He ain't got no tickets. Why do y'all keep pulling him over? And so I think that was the first time I really felt like it was more about seeing a black man in a certain type of car versus anything about my character being judged at that time. That's how I felt about it. So I say 16.
G5.
I think as early as 13.
That's my number.
Okay.
Because soon as you hit that teenager age, I look at they putting you, if you got a record or they know you hang with a crowd or certain individuals, they betting police and people in authority, they bet to see how long it's gonna take you to get locked up. I know some people in those systems and they tell me they bet. You get out, they bet and see how long y'all think it's gonna take them to come back. You know what I'm saying? Because they know, some people can't get off that hamster wheel, like in and out, going spinning real fast, but going nowhere. And I think they started as early as 13 because you're a teenager, and they already stereotyping us as it is. So that's they proving ground to see how far they can test you. And by the time you do hit 16, if they did it right, they already got you in the juvie system already. Then from the juvie system, they already like, oh well, we know he's gonna be a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So I think they start as early as 13. And 13 to 19, at that teenage age, they're trying to get you then before you can open your eyes and get in your 20s and start spreading your wings. So they try to clip your wings early.
Yep. What's up, ETB? Welcome.
What up, Pete?
What up, Pete?
Hey, what's going on? Can y'all hear me? I'm in the car. Okay.
Must have a whole lot of people at the Costco.
Oh, okay. Nigga been at the Costco's hour and 30 minutes, man. What's going on?
I mean, shit, I got a whole household.
What do you do, man?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Man, you know me, getting my mind right. The kids been on my helmet, and they gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, I know about that. Man, my kids almost made me lose my mind last week.
Well, Keith, since you jumped in right at the question, do you agree with G5's age estimation of 13 or right size age estimation of 16 when it comes to when our Black youth is judged purely by their skin color and not their character?
Man, really, I'm not gonna say I don't disagree, that I disagree with either one of them, but I think it's earlier. Just depending on what surroundings they are. I think it starts from grade school where they judge by their skin color. Really, it really does. I mean, if they're in the school that's diverse, for example, my daughters, right? They was in the school where, are you speaking on strictly men or just,
children in general?
Just in general, right? Okay, so for example, my daughters, they was in the school to where there wasn't really too many Black kids in that school, and they were getting judged right off of their skin color, right off the bat. We had an incident to where they took a class picture, right? And I got twins, so they split my daughters up, they split them up or whatever. But for this picture, they all took the picture together, right? But it was like a class picture. And when the picture came out, we noticed that it was two other African kids in the class, and then it was my daughters, right? We noticed that they put the Black kids in the back row, and they put them all together. They was like, oh no, hold on, that ain't gonna slide. So that's just an example, that whether you are 13, 16, grown, you're getting judged right off the bat, and it's a different, it's different by your skin color.
And it all depends on like you said, it all depends on what environment you in.
What environment you in.
Right, because I never had no problems in school, like as far as being because I went to all black school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From elementary to high school. But in the summertime, it started for me when I was 13 because I was playing ball in the summer. So when I was fine because at my park, the way they do it, then you go into different sections of the city and they make all-star teams, right? So when I was playing all-stars and all that kind of bullshit, Beirut all-stars and all of that stuff, and I had white coaches then. They were good coaches, but they were racist. And you could tell because of the moves that they made and whereas you see I got like most outstanding shortstop award for the whole league, right? But then when it's time to make the all-star team, you start a white kid, you put me in the outfield, and you got a white kid right there who was nowhere near as good as me. But his dad was Coach Maestri. You know what I'm saying? His dad was a coach at UNO. So it's like, man, come on, man. Yeah, it's just bullshit, So
It's funny you said that, Coach, because I had the same exact incident happen to me when I was playing ball on the All-Star team. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, and they couldn't keep me off the field because I was too good, regardless of where you put me on the field. I'm going to excel. But it just pissed me off because I'm like, hold on, I get the most outstanding award for the whole league. But now you trying to start this dude at that position that I'm better at because of his skin color. And that was my first experience with it, and I was like, man, this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So what was your experience like?
Well, same type of thing, then I was in All-Stars every year. And so, I made All-Stars this year, and then you know how they put the kids together from all over, right? So doing, doing All-Stars, I'm talking about I'm the best player on the team by far. I'm batting 1,000.
Right.
Really batting 1,000. Can't nobody outplay me in center field. But they got this other kid, and it happened to be a white kid. Mm-hmm. And all the other players, that's the best players, they playing the whole game. Me, he want to substitute me in and out, with this other sorry white kid that ain't nowhere near as good as me. And I'm like, well, won't you let him, take somebody else's position? He can't. I don't want to substitute in. Like, ain't nobody, I'm the one, that's got us winning games. Like the game before that, I had hit a triple, in the last inning for us to win the game. So I'm the one that's really showing out. And so my pops, he came and he seen that shit because see, it happened 3 games in a row. They did that. My pops came and seen that shit and he was like, nah. He went off and he was like, you ain't playing for them no more. They ain't finna do that. And so it was because it was a white kid and what you say?
I said
it was one of the assistant coach's sons.
Yeah, you know how that go. You know how that shit goes.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's some more bullshit that you gotta deal with, especially at those levels. So.
But it's interesting for me because of and that's why I said 16. But because of my character, there was a time where we had you know, where the police dogs come and search the high school and all that kind of stuff. They going through the cars and everything. And so they find like a handsaw or whatever in my trunk. And I don't know, I'm taking the handsaw from my house to my grandma's house or whatever at the time. And so, you know, they I mean, literally, they trying to put me in. They trying to strip me from school. They talking about I got a weapon on campus and all this other kind of stuff. And in this situation, I had our truant officer or whatever you call him at the high school, white dude. You know what I'm saying, Officer Stinson. I still rock with Officer Stinson, as well as my counselor, Miss Wallace. And man, they went to bat for me when they was trying to expel me. You know what I'm saying, from school. And so I've seen kind of both sides of it. And so I can't say it's all, but there is, you know, and it was crazy because I end up with like 10 days of in-school suspension or whatever. But even then with that, Miss Wallace, she would come get me out of in-school suspension. I go to her office for a couple hours. And, I mean, she'll go get a lot of my friends and stuff out of class and be like, I need you to come to my office, whatever. And me and them, we'll just get to chop for a second. And she was just saying, she was like, man, I know it. You didn't have anything or you didn't mean anything by it. You got caught in a bad situation or whatever, but she was showing love. And these were white people who were showing me love at that time. You feel me? So I feel like it just, like I said, it depends on where you're growing up at, what you're growing up around, the environment you're growing up in. And then also, because at the same time, I did see individuals who had certain things and they called whether it was drugs. Most of the time it was drugs, but I saw them also get expelled from school. And so I felt like, you know, I did have that chance to be expelled, but at the same time, I had people who felt like I was of high character who went to bat for me and made sure that I was still able to stay in school, still able to play ball like I was playing. And, you know, I never had the experience as far as baseball go because I play basketball, and, you know, we excel on the basketball court. You can't put a white boy on the court over me. It is what it is. I'm just saying. So
when y'all talk about all of you young sportsmen and all of that, to go back to the question, I would agree with all of you at the age, but I would say that those ages are when the Black child becomes what they see as a potential threat. But they are judged by their skin color almost from the gate. So if I ask that question and I respond that way, I'm going to tell you that they are judged from the start by their skin color, never by their character, because kindergarten kids are still developing their character, but they are judged.
Yeah, we see it now. We want to cut kids' hair and all kind of stupid shit like that in these schools, man. I'm like, what? Well, motherfucker, cut my kid hair. I'm coming in. I'm fucking you.
Yeah,
I promise you, everybody.
Just call the cops because I'm going to jail.
Oh yeah, I can promise you, every fucking teacher, every principal, everybody gonna be bald headed in that motherfucker. I promise you.
We'll just make everybody bald. We couldn't everybody
be bald headed, dog.
Scalping everybody.
Everybody gonna be bald headed.
Everybody.
No, you right. I remember. I think I was like 9. I went to my my first Junior Olympics. You know, we going out relay, and it was like, I'm 9. I'm a good size for 9, but it was this old white boy. He was jacked. I'm talking about jacked. I'm like, man, I don't think he 9. You know, I tore him up, but I'm looking at him like, bro, you can't be 9. So I'm like, my coach and I'm like, hey, I don't know, but we ain't gonna say nothing. Man, I'm going to go get my stuff. I get the track officials coming to get me. I'm like, what y'all talking about? These boys are talking about I'm cheating, I'm too old. We had to go get my ID, social, birth certificate, everything.
Yep.
I'm talking about, bro. I'm like, the only thing they was missing was a blood sample. I'm like, so y'all see me. Yeah, I mean, I'm good size, but no, this dude ain't 9.
They see us, and the police see us the same way. G5.
Yeah,
our kids could be fucking but our kids could be 11 years old, and they treat them like they grown fucking men. and not even know it. You know, this is an 11-year-old child, bro, that you fucking hemming up and shit. You see it all over the country. You don't see it too much in New Orleans because we most black cops and shit. But like in other parts of the country or out here because we live right outside the city, yeah, you'll see it here. You know, you'll see. It's crazy.
Oh, man. I
So
think they
I'm
was
gonna
missing was
ask.
a blood sample.
I want to ask a question to you, gentlemen. If you had to put a level of importance between these some good genes, level of importance, let me give you 3 items, maybe 4, that you have to put in order. Okay. So the first thing I'm saying is important to teach our kids the realistic truth about strength and weaknesses. It's important to build our kids' self-esteem and encourage positive body image. And it is important to teach our kids that it is okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from the mistakes that you've made. Of those 3, where would you put them?
First.
I gave you 3. Where would you put them? First, second, or third?
Okay, I'm gonna let them
In an
answer
order. I gave you 3. What's your first? What's your second? What's your third? Doug?
So the 3 important, I got it right. Importance of strengths and weaknesses, importance of or image, the image you portray, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the third, I apologize.
body image.
What did you
What
say?
was-
You just I
what
said
was
the
the
3. The 3 are being realistic about teaching your child how to understand their strengths and weaknesses, building self-esteem and encouraging positive body imaging, and teaching them that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them.
The one is mistakes of learning from them, because we all, regardless of what's going on, I feel like that's very important. Make sure you're learning from your mistakes. Second, strength, because
You're breaking up. Doug, you're breaking up.
hold on, give me 1 second. Hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said first would be learning mistakes. Second thing, actually, I'm switching it up. Second thing would be building self-esteem. Third thing would be strength and weaknesses. I think that your strength and weaknesses are very important, but I think as long as you have high self-esteem and you're learning from your mistakes, you'll figure out your strengths and weaknesses as they come. And I think it's always going to come with time, because you may not know you're weak in a certain situation. Whereas if you have high self-esteem and you learn from your mistakes, regardless of your weaknesses, you know what I'm saying, you can strengthen them if you have the other 2, in my opinion.
Okay. G5.
Okay, so strength and weaknesses. What were the other 2 again?
Strengths and weaknesses, learning from room to make mistakes as long as you learn from them, and building self-esteem and encouraging positive body image.
What was the last part? Encouraging positive what?
Body images.
Oh, like who you are. You know what I'm saying? In a sense.
Body image.
Yeah, your body image. When I look in the mirror,
okay.
I see myself as.
Let's see. Me, I put that who I see myself as is number 1, because I want my child or my individual to know who they are first, especially if you're in melanated skin. I want you to know exactly who you are, what you are. If you're a woman, you're beautiful. If you're male, you're handsome, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. Then 2 would be learning mistakes, and 3 would be strength and weakness.
Okay. ETB?
My first one would be the building the self-esteem and positive body images. Because if a child off the rip, if they don't have self-esteem and then they look in the mirror and they don't like the way they body look, or they don't have, positive body image, I think the rest of those categories, they pretty much not gonna care about that, especially in today's world. It's a lot different now, with everything going on. You got you got girls wanting to be boys right off the rip. You got boys wanting to be girls. And so I think that's the most important, because if they have high self-esteem and positive body image, that goes a long, long way, especially with all of the influences that we have in today's society. That's going to go a long way. The second one is, what was it again? What was the second one? What was the last two? The other two.
The other two is teach them how that making mistakes is okay, as long as you learn from them, and understanding their strength and weaknesses.
Oh yeah. So the second, I have to say, teaching them, making mistakes and learn from them, right? I always try to, teach my kids that. I always try to teach my kids that, everybody gonna make mistakes, but when you do something, learn from it. You got to learn from it, because nobody's perfect. Everybody is going to make these mistakes, but make sure that you keep that mistake in the back of your head. So when that situation comes up again, you always make sure that you learn from that situation, so you don't have to make that mistake again. And the third one is repeat that third one again, because I know that was the one that I wanted third, but repeat it again.
Strength and weaknesses.
Yeah, strength and weaknesses. And then the third one, strength and weaknesses. That's important also. I had that third, but that's important also, because, for kids and adults, you got to realize what your strengths are and your weaknesses, and teach them that, so they can know to, focus more on their weaknesses, so they can, down the line, make that one of their strengths. So all of those are important.
It's interesting, because all of those, they all affect each other as well.
Right.
Because
I'm so glad you said that, because that's the point. The point is, if I had answered the question, I would have simply said they're all the same level, because if I help you build your self-esteem, and then I teach you that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them, by creating the mistakes, you understand what you're strong in, you understand what you're weak in, and then you understand how to turn a weakness into a strength, because you learn as you go. And then the three actually all work in tandem with each other. You can't just build self-esteem and just be like, I'm all that, because if my esteem is too high and I make a mistake, then I fall too hard. There has to be balance.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, is that each one affects the other one. You know what I mean? So like you just said, if I build you, even if you have high self-esteem, but, and like I say, all of them are important, but you continue to make the same mistakes, your self-esteem is going to start to come down. You know what I'm saying? You're going to start to fall. And then, even though you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, if you haven't figured out how to learn from your mistakes, then your weaknesses will continue to grow and your self-esteem will continue to drop. And so I think, once again, they're all so and they are all important. They're very important, and they're all attached to each other. So, was that a loaded question? I feel like that was a loaded question.
It was. It was an intentional question.
Nah, Queen. Great question. I like questions like that.
Y'all know, is it the same? Y'all answers the same for girls.
Hey, Coach, come a little closer to the mic. Come just a little closer to the mic.
Y'all think it's the same for girls and boys, or do y'all change your order up for girls, or keep your order the same for girls and boys?
I don't think it's I do think it's the same. I think it's the same, but I think the self-image and the self-image, that part right there, I think that's maybe be more important for a girl because it's a lot of body shaming and all that going on, more so for women than men.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I always tell my daughters that, you know, with their skin color, with the way they look and everything. I always try to stay on top of that with my daughters. Because, you know, with this social media and everything, it's a lot of that going on. And women look at other women and think that's how they supposed to look. And it's just a lot of that going on. And it starts at a very young age now. A very young age with this TikTok and all of this stuff. And, you know, a lot of mothers, they let their young children, you know, young girls get on all those platforms at an early age. So it starts at an early age. So, you know, the girls that the women that's my age didn't have to deal with that. The women that's, you know, your age, Lania, they didn't have to deal with that as much as they do now.
Yeah, I think we are elevating so when my mother was young, marrying young was a thing, right? When I was young, the thought of a 13-year-old marrying anybody was a like, what? But now these little children here trying to be, I'm telling you, I saw these little kids, my little niece and them just started school. When I tell you, these little 7th, 8th, and 9th-year-old children had had a head full of fake hair, had a ponytail down there behind. They can barely walk straight, and you got hair down your ass. You know, these little kids are dressing more skin exposed, bellies, everything. It's like, where's the idea of maintaining youth until it is necessary for them to move forward? And why is showing skin the thing?
Man, that shit would have been good in my.
You know, it's interesting you say it. So, you know, I don't have a daughter, and I don't want any more kids. I got one son, and I'm happy with that dude right there. I'm happy. I'm cool. Don't want no more. And one of the things that you brought up, I feel like for women, especially young women in this current society, man, I think it's more confusing for them than anyone else right now because of the different obstacles that's put out there. The way that the same way you say it's showing skin, it's the sexualization of children. That's really what it is. And I went to, you know, when my son had field day back in May, you know, I go to the field day, I'm out there and he in first grade and I'm looking, I'm like, this is incredible from not just, you know, when I go to field day, I'm gonna put some basketball shorts on. I got my, you know, whatever. I'm just got my hat on, my glasses, taking my grandma out there, you know what I'm saying? She want to hang too and see my son do his thing at field day. And then you look around and not just the kids, but the parents as well. You got parents out, they in the tightest, shortest dress. You'll see it at the club, but they showing up with that on that field day. And it's setting an example for those younger females. And whereas when I'm looking at the fathers out there, or not even just the fathers, the men out there, you know, they very comfortable, very relaxed, not necessarily trying to put on their Sunday best to be at field day, where I saw a lot of mothers putting on their Sunday best, not even their Sunday best, they Saturday night best. That's really what it was. The Saturday night best to be out at field day. And I'm thinking, what image does this portray to the younger kids, the younger women out there versus the younger boys out there? You know what I'm saying? It's a different image being portrayed. And I'm not blaming nobody or nothing like that, but I will say, as a community, we got to look at those type of things. If we're not looking at them, because every child whose mother came out there in their Saturday night best, they looking at that thinking, okay, this is how you show up to field day. This is how you show up to field day. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I don't know. It's just the interesting dynamic that's out there in the community right now. And I looked, just to be honest, I looked at all the white mothers out there, the white women out there, and the Asian. They may have had the gym tights on, but that's about the best that you was gonna see as far as they Saturday night best. Whereas on the other hand, you know, you seeing the short shorts and the short dresses, and you seeing all of that out here. So
the problem with black women is we go from one extreme to the next. Because when you should be dressed appropriate, you at the grocery store in a hair bonnet with no bra on, with your boobs down to your belly, with this shirt on, tank top on, with some short shorts and some slippers. That's when you should be done up. That's when you should at least be presentable. How is that presentable? But then you go into a football game or a track and field or something like that, and you want to be done up from the floor in these 4-inch heels, 6-inch heels, hair done to the max, makeup to the max, dress so tight you can't take a breath in it. I'm confused.
And so we got to remember the image that we put out. That's the other thing. We got to remember the image that we're putting out to the kids, especially in social events. What's acceptable? What's not acceptable? There's a time and a place for everything, and we got to make sure that we're showing the kids the right way to move forward. And I'm gonna tell you, I after my son was born and me and my wife, you know what I'm saying, we separated or whatever, I got the hell out of Atlanta. And the reason I got the hell out of Atlanta is because the imagery there versus where I'm from, you know what I'm saying, the country, it's totally different. It's totally different. And I felt like it was a much easier, that's the first thing. It's a better situation, but also an easier situation to raise a child in, because I have the community support as well as I have very like-minded individuals to myself. Whereas in Atlanta, I found that a lot of things that I think of, and once again, being raised by older individuals, I got an old school mindset when it comes to these type of things. You know what I mean? So because of that, I wanted to make sure I could put my son in the same situation, or at least a similar situation that I grew up in. Also, going to the whole community building phase, there was a community in Atlanta that I was able to tap into via sports. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, the community down here in the country where I'm at now, it's a total different community that you're able to tap into. It's not just sports. You see a lot of different individuals, whether it's going to the grocery store, whether it's regardless of what it is, you see the same individuals versus being in Atlanta. You see a lot of different individuals. And I remember we went to Walmart one day and my son, he hit me with, "Daddy, why is his hair, why he got hair like a girl?" And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, at 5 years old, those are the questions you're supposed to ask. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's very hard to explain because I don't want to have him having any bias toward any individual. But at the same time, I got to figure out a way to explain it where it makes sense to him. When he saw the hair that this individual had, you know, it's micro braids and it's down to the kneecaps. You feel me? And it's a man. And now I'm left in the position I got to explain this and make it make sense. And so it's hard to make that make sense. And I know you're going to see it everywhere, but I'm going to see less of it where I'm at now. And as he gets older, then it'll be easier to explain different things. But at a young age, trying to make those different or trying to come up with explanations and to show what different people are doing is difficult. It can be very difficult. And so, that's why the pandemic, I hate that the pandemic happened the way it did, but one thing it did allow me to do was to work from home and then find a job where I was working from home where I could move outside of Atlanta and put him in what I would consider a more stable environment.
G5.
Just quiet.
Gabe, you there? G5 gone?
I think he might be having some trouble. Well, I'm gonna ask we're 2 hours in, and I'm gonna ask this final question. And
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask this final question.
What you got on there? I want to hit G5. What you got on there?
Got on what?
What we were just talking about.
Okay, can you regurgitate what y'all just
Well, we was just talking about the way people dressing right now, and the way it takes our people to to teach our children not to be going out there looking like that because we see it all over. You know what I'm saying?
I teach mine the tough, hard lessons now. I don't know what type of genes my kids got. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's why I stopped at 2. Because my 5-year-old, the conversations I have with we be laughing, and she be like, "Boy, Carter, something." So I be like, "Man, I don't know." He understand. Oh, they know, and I'm like, I'm glad they could dissect and understand the difference at 5 and 7. And I'm like, they know what's up. They know what it's supposed to be, and they know what it's not supposed to be. And right side, don't be afraid to tell them, bro. I'm telling you. That little boy, he gonna surprise you with how he'll be able to understand that, bro. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? You just can't go deep in it. You just hit the surface level.
Meet him where you at.
You know what I'm saying? Like, God, man, man and woman, boom, boom. You can keep it real, like PG for now. Now, as you get older, you can, go into more detail and depth because, he'll be, mine to be a little bit more broad so he can, understand what you're saying. But for the dressing, man, I blame it's partially on the dudes too, because a lot of the dudes, that's what they want. They go after. So women keep putting it on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a large percentage of dudes who want to see their woman half naked. You know what I'm saying? So if they know that's what dudes looking for, a lot of them that's how they gonna dress. Now
she got a fucking dress right now. She cannot wear that motherfucker outside the house. Point blank period. In the store, ain't no fucking talking about it. It's not gonna happen. You better put some fucking tights on up under that motherfucker, because that's the only way you can leave out the house.
He wouldn't even let me wear that because it's open from the neck all the way down to the belly button.
So said, oh hell no.
And then it's got slits. It's got slits all the way up to the hip.
Yeah, you out your fucking mind. I don't even know why you bought that fucking.
I didn't buy it. It was given to me by the designer.
Yeah, well, you should have gave it back because you ain't never wearing that fucking dress.
But the thing is say and going back to field day, say the women who came in with the tight dresses and all that. If my son be associating and trying doing whatever with them, okay, it's gonna trigger something. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm trying my best to make sure. Nah, bro, you at the end of the day, you can look all you want to. I ain't got no problem with it. At the same time, you want to find you somebody who is, and the word is very undersold these days. But growing up, I heard this word a lot: wholesome.
Wholesome, I was with you.
Wholesome.
And that's wholesome girl.
I've heard that multiple growing up. I heard that all the time. A wholesome individual. You know what I'm saying? And even today, you know what I'm saying? That's what I look for in a female. I want a wholesome individual at the end of the day because I know that I just want somebody who's gonna be putting out that right energy, man. And I'm not saying that they wrong for what they're doing, but what I will say is it's a time and a place for all of it. And field day isn't the time or place for that. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's my opinion.
Be honest. Be honest. When you was out there, I mean, before I got with my wife and all of that, and y'all got with y'all women or whatever.
Thanks for stopping by,
Thank
Sway.
you, bro. I appreciate you, bro. One thing that it is, when you look at that as a man, you know what that is. Straight up. You looking at a woman that's like that, you ain't trying to have no relationship.
You looking at a piece of ass, right. You trying to hit.
You ain't looking at that as like you gonna fucking make that your woman.
We can have fun, but it's not the person I would bring home.
They don't understand, and I don't understand how these women don't understand that. Bro, you putting out that energy that you for the streets. That's what you put. That's the energy you putting out. You putting out energy that you from the fucking street. Point blank, period. And that's how a man looking at it. Yeah, she might be busting, fine as a motherfucker. But you thinking only one thing. Yeah. I hit her. I ain't making her my girl. And you know that as men. Y'all know that shit. Y'all know that. Y'all ain't motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
Y'all know that shit.
You. Hell yeah. I see, man, college, man, I was like, man, she bad. I'll knock her down. We have a conversation. Oh, she got a head full of her. Oh, yeah. I already know what this is.
One I would put that
I don't understand how these women don't understand it. I don't understand.
I think they understand. They just don't care.
But the thing I thought about, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? If we're gonna have a relationship, that means you gotta come home. You gotta come to my house, you gotta come meet my family. You know what I'm saying? And I know, once again, going back to character and the person, the character that I want to carry with myself, I'm not bringing that back home, bro. I'm not finna do that because I'm raised better than that. And when I do it, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be nice to you, but then they gonna pull me in the room on the side and be like, "What the hell you do? Who is this?"
That's the truth.
Who is this motherfucker for the streets?
What you brought this? This what you like right here? Nah.
Let me tell you, a friend of mine used to say, his daddy said, when you bring a girl home, you want to bring home a beautiful girl. You don't want to bring home a cute girl. Don't come here and say, she cute, because monkeys can be cute.
It's not just that. It's just
so
the fact that motherfucker dress
they
like
need
this.
to be beautiful inside and out. They have to. My thing, in the end, my thing is a woman should be, if I want respect from my mate, I have to have respect for myself.
Right.
And going out with my ass out, I buy clothes every day. I do, almost every day. And when I put it on at the store, I be like, oh, this is cute. And I buy it and I come home. The first thing I do is put it on and model it for my husband. Babe, it's good. My shorts not too short. That's not too tight. We good. Because how he sees me is important. Because if he sees it as trampy and trifling, that's exactly what everybody else outside is going to see, even if they don't say it.
That's the energy being put out. Facts.
Yeah. Man, don't get me wrong. Motherfuckers gonna look at my woman. It happens all the fucking time. They gonna try to holler if I'm not around, and and just in public, and shit like that. But man, fuck that. You ain't going looking like no motherfucking, like, got all your fucking body out and all this shit. That's for me. I don't want everybody to be seeing my motherfucking good. Y'all.
But say it again, Coach. Nigga, that's for me. That's for me. No, anybody ain't nigga. No.
I tell everybody that. Let me tell you, that Steve Harvey said when he won that award that time, we're talking about his wife. He said, "You mine. I kill everybody up in here about you, Marjorie."
Yeah.
I kid you not. I might not say it that way, but I let everybody know that's mine. And you can't give him what I give him. At no level can you match me. Period.
Wow.
All facts. All facts.
That's all about. Hey, hey, coach.
Yeah,
That's the energy of a Leo. It's August.
yeah.
You know they finna talk big shit.
Hey,
What?
bro. It is what
But
it
I
is.
backed it up though, G. I backed mine up. I got him all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel you. I got me one too. She ready. She ready to go. I was like, no. Hold on.
Key, you back, brother.
I hear y'all. I'm in here putting these groceries up. Man, I want to say something because
Go ahead.
we was talking about the different type of women. And I had this discussion with my woman all the time because she like, oh, y'all men want women that less like this and like that. And I try to get her to understand, nah, we don't want that type of women. We just, we might go have fuck around with that type of woman, but we don't want that woman. It's a big difference between what we want and what we'll fuck around with. It's a big difference because a lot of women they think, oh, the woman with the fake ass and all the makeup on and this and that. That's what men want. Oh yeah, that's what y'all want. We had fake asses in the long ass span eyebrows and all that shit because that's what y'all men want. Men don't want that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we want. That's just what sometimes we'll look at and we know that a woman like that, she's putting everything into cosmetics, how she looks cosmetically and all of that. So we know that type of woman, she gonna be easier to fuck.
Easy.
She gonna be easier to fuck because she's putting that out there for that reason most of the time. You know what I'm saying? To get the attention of a man. So they, a lot of women, they need to understand that's not what men want. That's just what y'all think. And that's what, like, well, that's what y'all go after. That's what y'all go after. We go after that because we want to fuck easy,
That's
not
it.
because we want to be with that woman. And
Absolutely.
it's a big difference,
Well,
and
I think when you say that, that's key because women do tend to say that. And unfortunately, that's just the brainwashed of what they've learned from society.
right.
Because Brazilian butt lifts had nothing to do with a black woman, because on average, most black women already possess that. That is a thing for white women. That's how a lot of that got started, because they want to look like us.
Yep.
Braids and stuff, when women get it, black women have been doing that for centuries, braiding their hair. The difference is that black women now are just now starting to appreciate their natural God-given hair
Yep.
instead of being what society deems them to look like.
Right.
The most copied individual in the world, the black woman.
That's it. And everything, just like he was saying, we look at them, the men look at them like, yeah, you look like a good time. That's it. That's the way. What's up, A1? What's happening, brother? That's what we look at them like. Seriously. About them.
And,
That's what
was
that's our mindset going into everything on this panel. Everybody on this panel right now. We done seen it. We done, man, that motherfucker bad. But we ain't looking to fucking make that our woman. We motherfucker looking like,
Right, coach.
yeah. We ain't looking to make her our woman. We looking to have a good time when young and single and all of this shit, and these girls walking around with half that. She'll tell you, I work at I do security at a bar Wednesdays and Sundays, right? You got older broads coming in there, and these bitches be fucking built terribly. Half shirts, fucking tight ass dresses. Burn up, be like, bitch, look yourself in the mirror, bitch. Did you even look at yourself in the fucking mirror? Did you really think that shit was gonna work? What is your goal? What is your aim at coming out here looking like that?
The ones that get me is they look like that, and then they gonna hit on my husband. And even after my husband said I'm married, they be like, I don't care.
Yeah,
like, you don't know this crazy wife I got.
Yeah, but y'all better know.
Nah, that's a magnet, boy. Man, when I had that band on my finger, I used to be like, man, some of the comments I used to get told at work, I'm like, boy, I said, I see what my brother was talking about.
Troy and I used to say, I had a guy ask me today, he was like, can I get a ride? And I was like, I don't think my husband would like that. You ain't about to fuck up my garden eating.
And Five, real quick, what Five just said, one of the most interesting things for me, you know what I'm saying, going from being single to married and back to being single, when you got a band on your hand, you know what I'm saying, for some odd reason, I don't know what it is, I don't know what the infatuation with that is, but I have more people or more women hit on me, you know what I'm saying, with a band on my finger, knowing that I'm taking, knowing that. And like you said, that's okay, it ain't work. And you sitting there like, okay, hold on now, wait a minute. So you're not really trying to build a real relationship. What are you looking for if that don't matter? What are you really looking for right now?
Yeah,
and it's an interesting situation, bro. It's interesting.
So the key to that is if I cheat on my wife for you, then I'm gonna cheat on you with some other bitch.
Man, it's just, man, that should be crazy. Dog. I sit there and I'd be like, ma'am, please, ma'am. You don't understand what you trying to do. You don't understand this person that I'm married to. Please go, because if she come over here, she gonna fuck you up. I'm just letting you know. So please, ma'am, go on, please.
Coach, what you say? You about to get your ass whooped. Please stop doing what you do before you get your ass whooped. Please stop it.
It's serious, dog. Straight up, bro.
See them right here? They sleep on it. I'll cold cock the fuck out of her and keep it pushing.
Now, please. I'm not interested.
And I believe it or not, I'm not even gonna fight. I'm not fighting over my husband.
No.
That's what the misunderstanding is. I'm gonna hit you because you disrespected me, bitch.
It's about the respect. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, the other thing is look who individuals talk to, look who they stay with, look who they married to. You know what I'm saying? It may not be that Instagram model, but it's a wholesome individual. Those are the individuals that men are looking for. They're not looking for the individual you can find at the club. We're not looking for, if we at the club and we single, whatever, it's a good time. But how far do you really think that's gonna go? How far do you really think it's gonna go? At some point in time, if you ain't got respect for yourself, how can I have respect for you? And even outside of that, if you don't got respect for yourself, how can we build anything when you don't have respect for yourself?
That's right.
And when I see that, you feel me? Once again, like he said, hey, it makes for a good time, but outside of that, it don't make for nothing else. And
like you said with your son, you can't, when you're looking at a woman, you have to think, when you have children, you have to think of all of that. Like, I can't have no thought in front of my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that image to my child. This is the kind of woman you get with. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
I'll be a thought behind closed doors, baby.
But it's crazy because even right now, you know what I'm saying, I'm very careful of who I bring around my son. You got to be a very special person to meet my son, a very special person. And that means I got to see a true future with you. And I know you got to have respect about yourself and the way you and your dealings in life for me to bring my son around you, because I'm not going to bring that dude around anybody. You know what I'm saying? He not going to be around just anybody. He going to be around people who I feel are very respectful, who have respect for themselves, and somebody that I wouldn't mind him bringing home. Because the same way I told y'all earlier, if I brought a certain type of individual home, motherfuckers gonna be looking at me crazy. If he bring a certain type of woman home, I'm gonna be looking at his ass crazy. And I'm respectful to her, But at the same time, I'm gonna pull his ass in the back room and be like, not sure what you're thinking right now, and not sure what y'all got going on, but that's probably not the one you want to bring around here no more. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. And if I'm not gonna keep it real with you, but I can't say that if he's seen me do that consistently. I can't say that then. And so I always got to make sure whatever I'm doing, I'm putting the right example out there because I want to make sure that he ends up in the right situation. So all that comes into effect when these type of situations happen.
So Quee, I saw you said unfortunately a lot of them winning over the women that ain't like that. Trust me, we get looked over a lot. Well, that means them niggas for women that's not like that, them niggas that's going after that, they ain't for you anyway. They not the type of nigga that you need to be with.
And why you got G?
That's right. You know.
But then I can ask somebody.
That's not the type of guy that you should want to be with in the first place. Because that means, first of all, a nigga's a trick ass nigga. I can guarantee you. He a trick ass nigga. We see it all the time. We see it with all the fucking. We see it with these fucking athletes who got all this money. We see it with the motherfuckers who got a lot of money. Drug dealers. You see them with all these old motherfuckers that they hanging around for one reason and one reason only. First of all, that's their trophy. I don't need a trophy. I need a partner. Number two, they hanging around to get that fucking bread. And then if something happened with that nigga and he fucking fall, them motherfuckers ain't gonna hold him up. They ain't gonna be all at his fucking back. They're not gonna fucking support him. They're not gonna do none of that. So it works both ways. For the women who are fucking wholesome and doing what they supposed to do. That's them niggas ain't worth it. The ones that's not fucking that's going after that and just constantly in the streets and want that type of broad around. They ain't worth the fuck.
Key, you have daughters. So when you and Gina started dating and you guys were, building what is now your relationship, how soon or how long before both of you, because doesn't Gina have kids too?
Yeah.
How soon before you guys thought that your bond was strong enough to introduce your kids into the mix?
It was a long time. I'm talking about over years. It was a long time, and it's just because I don't bring nobody around my kids like that. I had a situation with my older kids' mother, and this is just all bad. The way that she was, it was all bad, and that affects the kids. Bringing them around all different type of men. In my situation, it would be women, but so I've never been a fan of that. I've always, protected my children when it comes to that and who I bring them around and all of that. And I want to make sure, and I want to make sure this is somebody that I'm going to be with, for good before I start bringing them around my children.
God damn it. I knew I connected with some good fucking brothers. Motherfucker.
So, yeah. So to answer that, and we both was on the same page. We was both on the same page because I really wanted to get to, know and learn a person. And so it took, it took shit like 2 years or more for that to happen.
But when you did it, you felt like it was an individual that you could spend your life with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
Man, why we don't have this displayed in media like this? Why we always got negative bullshit displayed in media? And look what we doing. We all connected on this internet and we talking about good shit. You know what I'm saying? This is not what's displayed about us in media. This is not what's displayed about us. Everything that's displayed has been nothing but negative shit. And so this is one reason why we wanted to do this, to connect with people and And if we can help some people, we can help them. You know what I'm saying? But this is, you know, this is great to me.
So let me ask this one question, and then you guys can have a conversation or not. But I got one question, and it's a really important question that can be utilized across different relationships, friendships, intimate relationships with a spouse or partner, your relationship with your children. It can be utilized, but I really do want to get each of your views on the question, and then Troy and I will answer last. And I want you guys in the chat as well to comment your thoughts on this question, because I really believe it's an important question. What is your understanding of unconditional love? Keith?
I mean, unconditional, no matter what situation. I mean, if that person gets sick, if it's unconditional. No matter what the situation is, anything can happen in life. Also, no matter the problems y'all go through, is unconditional. So you're gonna love each other through all of that. Through anything. For example, if you get in a car accident and get paralyzed, and they have to change a diaper or whatever it may be, it's unconditional. You're gonna love that person through all of that. If a person gets sick and gets cancer or something like that, you're gonna still be beside that, beside your spouse's side, and love them and care for them unconditionally. If y'all go through some problems, y'all gonna find out a way to work it out, but you still gonna love each other unconditionally. That's how I feel about it. No matter.
Go ahead, Keith. I know. I thought you was finished. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, no matter no matter what life brings, Now it is some things that you're not gonna, deal with, but y'all get what I'm saying overall.
Right. G5.
Well, unconditional love, I'll say, I mean, when you love unconditional love, you really put that person before yourself in every damn thing. I mean, you can have pressing matters that you need to get done, but what my woman need, you gonna make sure. I mean, that's the first call of duty. You know what I'm saying? You good, you straight, I bet. No matter what it is. I mean, you could be at work, you might have to leave work. You might be mad as hell, but you gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? On the way, like, God damn, I gotta leave work. I just got here 2 goddamn hours and I gotta go do this. But you're gonna go do it. I think you need to say unconditional. I think it's like the ultimate sacrifice of oneself to another person, I say. If you say you're unconditional, I think you, in a sense, saying you giving your all to this person. And not just the physical, but I mean, mind, body, soul type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Where if she ain't feeling right, the energy, the vibe, you can hear it in the voice. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention, dog. Y'all better pick up on these small details. I know all that. I'm king small shit. I pay attention to everything. So, you know what I'm saying? If she ain't right, I'm like, what's good, queen? I find out, you know what I'm saying? And it's vice versa. So, I mean, I think that's where I look at with unconditional love, just, ultimate sacrifice of yourself to another one, and, you know what I'm saying, trying to become one.
Okay. Right side, your thoughts?
So I agree with both of what Kian and G5 just said, I'll add that the majority of the time when you meet individuals, It may not be necessarily the ideal situation, but it's a comfortable situation for both of y'all. Once that situation stops being comfortable, as far as whatever the situation, as far as whatever the condition is that the individual is in, what they're going through, I always look at it as a mother-son relationship, a father-son relationship. I look at it that way as far as unconditional love. At the end of the day, with your children, there's nothing they're going to be able to do to make you stop loving them. You know what I mean? Whereas I think there are a few things that I will always hold out there and say, yeah, if you do certain things, regardless of how much I love you, I got to question my love for you in certain situations. But if unconditional love is coming from both sides, if it's truly coming from both sides, then in my opinion, it means that I care nothing about any of the conditions that you may be, any of the situations, anything that you may be going through. Because I know you, because I rock with you, because I love you, I'm gonna be here and we're gonna figure this shit out. Whether I like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether I like it or not, we're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? Outside of and my one caveat to it is adultery. You know what I'm saying? Anytime that you step outside of our relationship, then the unconditional love, in my opinion, can deteriorate. But as long as you stay faithful to the relationship, then anything that comes up, whether it's financial, whether it's health related, regardless of what it is, we're going to figure a way through it and we're going to come out on the other side because we're going to be powerful together. And so outside of adultery, anything else that you do or anything else that comes up and can be a hindrance to our relationship, we're going to figure out a way together to get past this, to fix it and make sure that our relationship is the best it can be, whether it's something dealing health-wise, whether you done got paralyzed, whatever it is. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not adultery. Once you step outside of that relationship, the unconditional love changes. And so as long as it's me and you, and we got that same love for each other and respect for each other, I feel like the unconditional love will always be there. And anything you got going on, I got going on, we will work together to figure a way through it, and we will come out on the other side bigger and better than it was before.
Your turn.
Husband.
I'm going last. Go ahead.
Why you gotta go last?
I want to. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to read this and then I'm going to give my answer. So unconditional love, simply put, is love without strings attached. It's love you offer freely. You don't base it on what someone does for you in return. You simply love them and want nothing more than their happiness. This type of love is called compassionate or agape love. And for me, unconditional love is that. It's not, it has no conditions or limitations on it. The relationship may have certain conditions, but my love for my husband, I have given freely, unadulterated, no limits. In the end, it's his happiness above all else. As long as he is happy, I am happy. Now, in our relationship, if he does something that breaks the bond of our marriage, it doesn't stop me from loving him and wanting his ultimate happiness. It just means that for me, the relationship has stopped, not my love for him.
Agreed.
Damn. But you got deep as a motherfucker. Go ahead.
Hold on real quick. See, you done prepared for this. Ain't nobody else prepared for this. And you got quotes and everything else to hit us with. Respectfully. Go ahead.
She the host. She's supposed to be prepared.
I
love
prepped, bro. I prepped for this. This was
Yeah, but
important.
you own it today. Oh, well, you been hitting. You got some questions today. Yeah, I said okay. I see you. I see you. I like that though.
Husband.
I mean, what you said
All
is
right, coach, you on the spot now. You got to come with some fire now, coach.
okay. Well, just I mean, as far as what she was saying about, it's kind of my definition, but also just dealing with unconditional love with your kids. I think that if you're willing to put your life on the line for somebody and die for them, that's unconditional love. To me, that's what it is. If you if you ready to take a bullet for another person that you love and care about, that's unconditional love. So I would, and wanting that person to be happy no matter what, even if they with you or not. I think that's if they if something else makes them happy and you really love them, then you want them to achieve those goals or whatever it may be, and you're gonna still be happy for them. So
Now I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna throw a wrench in this now.
go ahead.
Okay, so when we're talking about unconditional love,
Uh-huh.
you and your partner, right? And the queen said it perfectly. Is yeah, it is outside of the relationship, right? But coach, according like you said, and especially when we're talking about our kids, I'm gonna die for my son any day of the week.
Right.
If it comes down to me or him, take me any day.
Right.
Any day, you take me. Now, this is my question.
Go
When
ahead.
it comes down to unconditional love for your partner,
Uh-huh.
if those those vows have been violated and y'all are no longer together, are you still willing to give your life for this individual?
If it comes down to it, we standing somewhere next to each other, and somebody pull out a gun and gonna shoot her, am I gonna jump in front for her? Absolutely, absolutely. And the main reason, because I know I'm going to heaven after that. That's number one. So, so
I would actually agree as well. Because just because I'm not with him because of whatever the situation was, I think a lot of times that question will be answered differently. I'm not bitter with my husband. If my husband and I broke up tomorrow, I would hold no ill will towards him. I would just say we weren't meant to be together for whatever that reason is.
There
But
it
I
is.
love him 1,000%. And if there's a situation, if he got sick and he had nobody to care for him, I would be there and I would care for him.
Agreed.
Because when I said I loved him, it wasn't something that came willy-nilly. It was true and it's still true. And God spare I make it through, it will continue to be true.
yeah.
So there's that.
Oh,
Hey, I'm gonna tell both of y'all, man. I don't know if y'all about to shut it down or not, but we need more topics like this in the community because we done built on a lot tonight. You know what I'm saying? We've built on a lot tonight and we've had great conversations. So hey, anytime y'all rocking, I'm definitely rocking with y'all, man. I love this conversation. Love it.
I appreciate it, bro. And my main thing is, man, y'all tell y'all friends, bro. Come through. Come just see what we doing over here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell people about this, bro, because this is needed in our community. It really is. And even if we
Man,
start on this small scale right here, this is needed in our community. We need to be open about shit. We need to talk about what's going on in our communities and our relationship because it's therapy. If you really think about it, this is therapy for a lot of people if they start participating and coming in here. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're making friends. So, I know y'all don't. I know a lot of times I'll be talking a lot of shit, talking boxing and all of that stuff. But there's a soft side to me also. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying to say that. You know what I'm saying?
It's no shame in it. It's no shame in it.
And the thing is, we all can learn from each other. You know, ain't nobody's relationship is perfect, and nobody is perfect. We all should still be growing as individuals and couples if you know with somebody. So I think this show is good for all of that.
Hey, bro, I appreciate y'all coming through, bro, for sure.
So
Yes,
before we close it out, and Big Texas, salute. We appreciate you coming through. Our prayers are with you and your family. A1, it's right. We are constant. Even Troy and I, we've been together 7 years, almost 7. We'll be married 4 years in October. And every day we learn each other, but we make a conscious effort to truly know and understand each other when we have conflict, when we have issues, if there's some misunderstanding, we take a moment and take a step back and say, okay, let's talk about this for real. There is no topic that we don't talk about openly, freely, and 1000% raw. Because Troy can hurt your feelings, but I ain't glass. I don't break.
Yeah, see, and that's how me and Troy both is. Like we both raw like that with it. And you know, Gina will tell you I'm raw with it. Like, you know, sometimes it might hurt your feelings, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to you gotta respect it because you know it's real.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie. That's
Right.
that's a fucking pet peeve of mine, bro. Right. She'll tell you that's a fucking pet peeve of mine. Bro. I'm not gonna don't fucking lie to me. Lie to me, but we got a fucking problem. Don't fucking lie to me.
And don't call him a liar.
Don't call me a liar. And don't lie. Call me a fucking liar, partner.
I feel you on that.
Fuck you up. And I mean it. Bro, I've been friends with a guy, how long? Over 27 years. And that motherfucker told me I was lying. Bro, I told him, I said, I'm gonna get away from you. And to this day, right now, I don't fuck with him. Bro, you call me a fucking liar, bro, and I don't fucking lie. That's one thing I don't do. Call me a liar, it's about time. Motherfucker, I'm gonna put hands on you, motherfucker, man. Don't call me no liar, bro. That's one thing I don't fucking hate.
Coach, well, I gotta disagree with you on that because you lied and you don't even know you lied yet. You lied when you say Regis Prograis is gonna beat Gary Antoine Russell, but you just don't know it yet. You just don't know it yet.
Oh man.
Yeah. You better go help. You better go. Listen. You better go help the Bell. That's what you do. You help the Bell. Call Dwayne Freeman and help him out. I saw you earlier, D. I couldn't comment because they was talking. But I'm going to be on your ass, so you better get your mind right. That's all I got to say, homeboy.
Hey, if Regis come in with that same mindset, or not Regis, excuse me, if Gary Antoine come in with that same mindset he had against Rancis, Regis gonna knock his ass out, bro. Don't come in doing that bullshit like that, bro. You better come in very cautious, very respectful of that individual, because Antoine showed no respect for Bartholomew, whatever his name is. He showed no respect and got his ass hurt early in the fight. Don't do that shit against Regis, because Regis will hurt your ass.
I'm an innocent bystander in that fight. I love both of them fighters, but if they do fight, I'm gonna just sit back and watch as a fan and may the best man win. You know, I'm not gonna be mad with neither outcome. I'm just gonna be, you know, if they.
You gotta pick somebody, Keith. You gotta pick.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
He said, I ain't betting on that fight. I'm just watching.
I just want to watch. You know what I'm saying? That's a fight I just want to watch. Cause I got the utmost respect for both of them fighters. You know, and you can't tell me, you know what I'm saying, both character-wise, just from the men that both of them fighters are. It ain't nothing not to like about them one of them fighters. And I'm talking about the man, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like Gary Antoine. I like him. I do. I really like him. But I got to go with my homeboy.
Yeah, you gonna roll with you know, you gonna roll with Rougarou because you know that's your hometown.
Right.
For sure.
And I know his people. So yeah. Yeah, I'm rolling with Regis till the wheels fall off that. That's my guy.
That's gonna be a hell of
Look what it was.
A1 say shit.
Look at A1 say.
God damn it, we tired of hearing about boxing.
Hey,
We talking about
817.
life, God damn it.
Snap. A1. I feel you, man. And we on the show yesterday. That's what I was telling everybody. It was it was fun to me. It felt good to just get away from talking boxing on the show yesterday. You know?
And it's about to be
y'all was
football.
cooking yesterday. Y'all was cooking on that shit.
Man.
It's crazy because it was like it was meant for us to talk about something, but because other than boxing, because I'm on the phone, me and Money was on the phone chopping it up, right? And I said, man, I got to figure out what I'm gonna talk about with the show. So then, of course, the topics was boxing, and so I went ahead and made the thumbnail, whatever, put the topic of the show, and I told Money, I said, you know what the funny thing is? I said, watch, I put all these topics up here, and we go in here and don't end up even talking about none of this shit. And I had forgot about it. The show was about to end, and I said, Money, remember when I told you that we was gonna come? What if we came in here and end up not talking about nothing that I put up on here? And he was like, damn, you did say that shit. And it wasn't even intentional. That's just how it turned out. But you know, a lot of people, I don't know, they watch these shows and think that's all we know, and that's what all we about is nah. It's much more to us than just boxing and talking boxing, you know.
Bro, I just thank God I met you and Money, and I just thank God for that, bro. For real. And Knockout and G5 and Dub, bro. Man, I appreciate y'all, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just glad I met some good men, bro. Seriously.
Right. Real talk.
Trust me, I feel you on that. Man.
You know it's crazy because when you come into this YouTube boxing community or whatever, right? You come into it, and I'm still new to it, and then you start to meet niggas and really chop it up with them, and it's like, bruh, we share a lot of the same values, um, and even now. I could talk boxing with y'all, and I can't talk boxing with a lot of niggas, right? That I rock with on a daily basis. But at the same time, I can have this conversation with y'all that come from boxing. I can have this conversation, the same conversation I can't have with a lot of people that I just really rock with. You know what I'm saying? I can't have this with everybody. And man, much love to y'all for putting y'all platform out there like y'all doing right now and allow us to get our minds off of boxing, but still building with each other, man. I love it. I love that shit.
Yeah,
Man. That's why I do everything I do early in the morning. I'm like, man, say it. This week, boy, yeah, we've been dropping explosions on their heads this week, boy. Yeah,
But
it's been on.
This has been a hot week for everything from sports to just topics. Because I mean, you know, I rarely jump on ETB when y'all are cooking. But ooh, man, I'll tell you, I was hot driving home. I promise you, I was doing 80, 85 easy.
Hey, that foot got a little heavy listening to the conversation.
Oh, I was so livid. I was like, and there was not one woman on the panel. I was like, oh no, we're not about to do this.
Hey, we need the women on the panel though. We need them.
But me and my lady, we had that same.
debate.
It's crazy though, because me and my lady, we had that same exact debate between me and her, and this was probably like over a year ago.
Come on.
The same exact debate, and I don't know how it came up with the WNBA and all that, but we had that same exact debate, and I think her take was more of what you were saying, Lania.
I believe it. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, when I watch sports, I try to get all of it. I watch women's soccer, I watch tennis, I grew up on boxing and basketball and football, but I watched it when I met my husband and he started hanging out with his friends and we would go over to watch the football game. They would say you know, the women are in the kitchen. And I would look at them and say, I'm glad they're in the kitchen, but I won't watch the game.
Yeah. That shit that shit is hilarious, boy. That shit is fucking funny. They think
I've cussed like in the past when I'm get on there talking about women, you know, the female fighters and Clarissa shit, and I've had dudes coming out. I don't want to watch that shit. They need to be in the kitchen. I didn't cuss Cass out for saying that shit, you know, because I got daughters. You're not finna get up here and say some disrespectful shit like that, because I don't want nobody saying that to my daughter.
Yeah, but she handle herself, and I just look at her and I go,
tell them they can't. Oh well, you can't do this and you can't. No, you're not finna do that.
I've never been that girl. I will sit and watch football. My dad and I watch all day long.
I want to know who you directing that to?
He ain't talking to my husband. I promise you. My husband don't let me win at jack shit.
And not only that, I have never,
ever,
not one time,
will never,
in this marriage and the one before, ever fucking sleeping on no motherfucking couch
unless he fall asleep watching
TV because my motherfucking bed, that's my motherfucking bed.
Right, coach. Let them know, coach. Let them know.
I'm not going to sleep on no motherfucking couch. You go sleep on the fucking couch. You better lay next to me mad, motherfucker. That's how it's going to be. You better lay that fucking mad, because I promise you, I'm not getting out my motherfucking bed.
We cut from a different cloth. Ain't nobody making me get on no motherfucking couch ever.
Well, we don't go to bed mad, so that's the first part. You're not about to mess up my marital bed because I might wake up in the morning and want some. And if I'm mad at you, I ain't gonna get some because I don't like angry sex because it ain't as good as when I'm happy about it because I'm just like, I want that.
We don't go to bed mad
at all. I'm not even doing it.
But I ain't never fucking never told the last one, motherfucker, you go sleep on that fucking couch. I'm not sleeping. I'm gonna sleep where the fuck I want in this motherfucking house. I promise you. If I want to sleep on top of the fucking refrigerator, motherfucker, that's where I'm gonna sleep.
The only time my husband has gotten out of our marital bed to sleep on a sofa is after one of my surgeries. And I just couldn't get comfortable, and he went and sleep on the sofa. But putting him out the bed, that is never even in a thought of my brain. Never.
Fuck that. No. I that motherfucker big finger, motherfucker. No.
Black love at the best, man. Black love at its best. I love it.
Yeah,
man. I appreciate y'all coming in, bro, and rocking with us, bro. You know, just tell people about it, bro. We need these discussions, man. I just wish the people that be in the back that y'all participate, bro. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I always feel like we have to corral people to come on and get online. It's like just jump on. I pin it in the chat because this kind of conversation, it doesn't matter who it is, single, married, dating, widowed. Everybody has something to offer. This is a conversation about not just love between married couples. It's about Black excellence in itself. We have so much that we offer each other. You just don't know until you ask the question or until you start talking about it. This whole special edition came up last week because of Right Side and another gentleman that was on. That's how this conversation came about. That's how things come about.
But it was all good conversation. It was all good conversation, man. Absolutely. Like I told you, when you was like, you better show your ass. God damn it! If I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here. And the reason, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to be here for this because I think it's important for the community, man. I think this is a conversation that it should be an ongoing conversation. But I mean, we talk boxing all the motherfucking time, man. I love talking it. And hey, I'm pulling my Adrian Broner out. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that.
Right Side. The right side. I ain't gonna lie, man. You definitely got an old soul, and I could tell you was raised by older parents or your grandparents. Cause man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I thought you was like 60 some years old, 70 some years old, bro. I'm keeping it 100, real talk. And when you told me how old you was, I said, "What?" The whole time, you know what I'm saying? I was keeping it real respectful when he come on there, cause you know how I get in some. I was keeping it real respectful, cause I was like, man, I gotta respect my elders, man. Yeah, I thought he was in his 60s, like late 60s, 70s. So yeah, man, that ain't no jab. I'm just saying you could tell you got an old soul for real.
The way I was always raised to be respectful, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show love regardless. That I was always showed love growing up, and I was always taught that, hey, you do what you want. You feel me?
You
Whatever.
sound older too, though. Like you know what I'm saying. Your voice, it sound like you sound like you older.
Like I'm
So
an old.
You sound like you sound like an old man though. But shit ain't. I ain't
No,
trying to say that in no funny way, but you really do. I thought you were older.
You have an old soul. I mean,
Yeah.
what I love about the conversation with both you guys is that when I first, last week was the first time I had really got to talk to Right Side. And so I felt that you can tell he has that village backing because he
Right.
leads with love.
Right.
He doesn't lead the same way some other younger people lead. Everything he's ever in our experience, the late night from last weekend and today, you can tell that he truly leads with love, and then he leads with love and respect is always in the forefront.
He got that country upbringing, and you could tell.
Absolutely.
You
I
could
can't
tell
tell
for
that
sure.
motherfucker Omega Red crazy as a fucking. That motherfucker crazy as a road lizard. Him. That motherfucker.
Omega Red was on the front line. You know what I'm saying? He was on the front line. Omega Red was on the front line of Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? He'd say, he just don't know it yet. He was in Vietnam in his past life. He might he'll tell you he served in the Afghanistan and all of that, but he really served in Vietnam in his past life. You know what I'm saying? He was out there cutting off them in the Philippines, cutting heads and shit.
What you say? He biting fish heads off, right?
Man, yeah. Well,
Hey,
Omega Red country ass.
man, that's the thing though. Like I always say, man, the way I was brought up was you show respect, you know what I'm saying? And whatever you show is what you're gonna get back. You know what I mean? And that's what I always come with. I'm gonna come with love, respect from the beginning because I expect nothing less coming back toward me. And so, hey, but I got much love for all y'all, man. I got much love for y'all.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I ain't got no love for no damn money. Money ass better be sick with a migraine, about 50 years old. Because that boy said, Queen, I promise I'm gonna be there on Friday. He ain't said once, he said twice. So I'm telling you, I'm
gonna tell you, I think money got some. Money has some family issues going on. He really did. Yeah, no, he really did. He had some family issues going on, some serious things going on.
He told me that.
He really did though.
Yeah, he told me that because when I called him, he said, "Coach, I got some family issues going on."
That's a saving right there. That's a saving grace right there.
I forgot, my bad.
I was gonna.
He really did. He really did because I was talking to him about some of the things earlier, and he was really worried about it. So yeah.
Okay. He get a pass then. He get a pass.
Cause money, because money, you know what I'm saying? He a woman activist anyway, so he'll be right up in here with your ass. You know what I'm saying? He'll be right up in here with your ass. Yeah, Queen, yeah, facts.
Boy,
I tell money, you better stop doing that shit. You need to stop doing that shit. You in here trying to make the other men look bad and shit.
Yo, he gonna do what he gonna do. You know that shit. You know he gonna do what he gonna do.
Money, little charming ass.
Oh yeah, and the nigga got a mouthpiece.
Yeah, little charming ass.
Shit, money got a mouthpiece, son. Talk his ass off.
Well, A1, look, we want you to jump on a panel, and next time you're gonna have to do that. I appreciate y'all so much for taking the time to have the conversation, to answer the questions. Sometimes these conversations are hard. The conversation we're going to continue next week will probably be another hard one, and I'm going to call all my sisters and brothers for that, because we have to have these kind of conversations to keep just to keep it moving, even if they don't show up on the chat, on the live at the time. A lot of people do view, and they do take what we're saying at least at face value, and even if they only take one little nugget of what was given in 3 hours, then we've changed at least one. So the only thing I'm gonna say here is continue to lead with love. Continue to be 1,000% raw and honest, not sugarcoating shit. And, keep bringing that smoke, because we want all of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I want to say, A1 Hoops on, you ain't shit. You you ain't shit for that. Hey, Mr. Mechanical, yeah, I seen the video. You talking about when he got an old boy ass. Yeah, I seen it. I watched that shit. That was the first video I watched this morning.
Oh, we gotta, real quick, man. We gotta stop this, man. This shit getting out of this YouTube shit getting out of control, man. Listen, respectfully, man.
Bro, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing with Scotty, bro. You can't. So you can't do nothing with him, bro. Like, even if you try to talk sensible, he gonna if you paint him in a corner, he's gonna deflect and just continue to. It's hard to deal with, bro. Like, Keanu tell you, bro. Like, the first time me and him was on a panel together, bro. Like, we kind of had it out, bro. I'm like, bro, you paint him in the corner, bro. He start turning into a fucking all of this philosophical, his intelligence level, and all of this shit, bro. We just talking boxing, bro. Why it's gotta go to all of that shit? You know what I'm saying? And the shit that he pulled, bro, I find that to be fucking utterly disrespectful and stupid. I mean, it's just my opinion, and he may not like it, but it is what it is, bro. It's just boxing. We just talking boxing. It's not about who trying to run your show and all of this shit. It ain't about that. It's just about, man, be respectful to each other, man. What the fuck is the problem? You know what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers, obviously y'all gonna see each other in public. This is going to happen because they both cover boxing.
Mm-hmm.
They both cover boxing, bro. And this shit don't have to go to turn into nothing else other than talking about it. And it wasn't nothing but a fucking a debate. That's what it was gonna be into. It wouldn't have been all this other shit. Either you want it or you don't. I ain't down with it. And that's it. But in the back of his mind, he think, if I do lose, they gonna think I'm a punk and all. Man, come on, bro. It's a fucking debate. We all having fun.
Hey, look, Coach. I believe everybody just told me I lost the battle, even though I know. I know the everybody came out and they know I beat that boy. So they know I beat that boy. Nah.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, right side, right? I think it was biased. You know what I'm saying? I think this shit was biased. Round one, that shit was real close. Round one was very, very close. I gave him the edge, but then I'll go back and I'll be like, well, maybe right side won. You know what I'm saying? So I gave round one to him, but it was very, very close, right? And so for people to have round one like him 70%, I thought that shit was biased right off the rip, right? Now, round two, to me, you won hands down. Round three, I think it was round three, right? Round three, you had it. You had that round by right side, but then you fucked yourself up. When you start trying to when you said that Holyfield was the same type of fighter as Devin Haney, because Holyfield was a pure boxer, and Pernell Whitaker was the same type of fighter, that's what you lost it. You had it and you lost it. And so he won that round because you fucked yourself over by saying that, because that wasn't that to me. I'm just keeping it 100 raw with you. To me, it was like you lost it right there, bro.
And my thing is I'm cool with it, but I will say, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I thought round one, man, I thought I did really good on my rebuttal in round one.
You did.
And I felt like I was like, okay, I got a chance to win that round, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie to you, when you see this shit in the chat, you know what I'm saying, and you see how the shit kind of played out, I was like, man, I ain't got a chance in this motherfucker. Then when I felt like I felt like I won round two clean, and I still lost that motherfucker in the chat, I was like, all right. I kind of in round three, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, I kind of threw my hands up, and I had other points I was gonna go to, but I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, I kind of gave up because I was like, I'm gonna lose this motherfucking battle, bro. And
but like I said, a lot of things he kept you defending Devin Haney.
Yeah, and
he wasn't making him have to defend Tank.
He allowed Knockout to control the narrative in the debate as well. I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. So, but this was my first YouTube debate, bro. So I ain't got a problem with it. And Knockout, respect the Knockout, because Knockout is a hell of a man. Knockout is the first individual who allowed me on the panel, bro. I was on Knockout panel before anybody else's panel, and Knockout has always showed me love. So. I know the reason I rock with him so hard because he's a great boxing mind. You feel me? So I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem whatsoever with it.
And y'all, I don't know what y'all was talking about, man. My shit wasn't close. I know if I lose a debate and shit or my shit wasn't close to me. That shit wasn't even close, but you know what I'm saying. Shit, my shit like that shit wasn't close. I give him, maybe one round. The last round, maybe I get to him, but the first, nah, that shit wasn't close.
Yeah, T did good though. He did.
He did very well, because if you didn't know the facts and the ins and the outs of the situations, he would have made you believe like, oh damn, you know what I'm saying? Because if I didn't know, he would have fooled me.
I went to sleep on round two. I couldn't keep my eyes open, but I heard round one. I thought you came out with that fire. I ain't lying.
Hey, I thought it was a good battle regardless, and I ain't gonna lie, man. Even though, and my thing is what the chat had, bro. Like when I talked to Knockout, I talked to him right after. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he thought he won rounds 1 and 3. I ain't got no problem with it. I thought round 1 was very debatable. I thought I won round 2 clearly. I gave him round 3, but at the same time, bro, like I felt there was some bias in there as far as the chat go. But I can't. It's all good, man. I enjoyed that shit, man. So
real talk, right side. Round 1 could have been a draw. Like real talk, that shit could have been a draw because both of y'all was like right there with each other. And that's my opinion. And I don't have no bias, right? Both of y'all was right there, you know what I'm saying, in round 1. So round 1 could have even been a draw. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit could have been either way. Round 2, I thought you won hands down, real talk. And then round 3, I thought you had it. You had it until you said that Holyfield and Pernell Whitaker shit, and then you just start falling off from there.
Yeah. And like I said, man, I felt I kind of threw my hands up in that round, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I probably shouldn't have, but when you see I felt like it was by what I ain't gonna lie.
I wasn't even doing my debate. I didn't even look at the poll. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Myself, bro. I swear to God, I was like, do not look at the chat, bro. Do not look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. And I didn't watch the chat, but when they was like, damn, yeah, you got washed in round 1, I'm like, God, how I get washed in round? I got washed in round 1. I thought it was close, but it's all good, man. I ain't got no.
That shit just be by, and then you gotta understand, man. Boxing fans is gonna be boxing fans at the end of the day. That's what we gotta understand. Whether it's a debate or not, most boxing fans, they're gonna judge bias. They gonna judge by who they like and who they don't like. And I'm talking about the fighter they like and the fighter that they don't like, and that's just what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
you know, I will say because it's knockout, bro. I respect knockout tremendously as far as boxing knowledge goes, and so if I took an L, I'm gonna take that L. You know what I'm saying? And I don't got no problem with it because if I'm gonna take an L, I want to take an L to somebody like knockout. But I will.
I ain't taking no L to nobody. Fuck that.
But you see, but you gotta look at it.
Nobody.
Like, you gotta look at it. We got a lot of practice.
Say it again.
We have a lot of practice.
Yeah.
You gotta look at that, bro. Me and Keon went at it, bro.
But and it's so crazy because I be wanting to jump on the channel on the channel with Keon. The problem is Keon, when you come on, normally that's when my son getting out of school, or it's if y'all ever notice, bro, I rock normally 9 times out of 10, I rock late at night. You feel me? The reason I rock then is because my son is asleep then. That's when he's sleeping. That gives me my time to talk when I want to talk. So you'll never see me jumping on channels early just because I got other shit to do. You know what I'm saying? After I'm working, I get off, then I got my son. And so I can't really jump on like I want to, but I ain't got no problem, man. And salute to Knockout. Knockout is a brilliant boxing mind. And so,
man, this ain't, it's just a debate. All this shit is fun. You know what I'm saying? All this shit is fun.
But I had so much fun in that motherfucking debate.
When you debate, if you're gonna admit that you wrong about something and say, yeah, you was right about that, you got me on that. Wait till the debate to do that shit, Dub Right Side. Don't do that shit during your debate or rebuttal. That's another thing, but you gonna learn from it.
The first month, this is my first. I agree with.
Yeah. No, you gonna learn from it, and that because like I said, I'm like, oh man, you Right Side got this right side, and then you be like, well, Knockout, you did say this, and I gotta agree with you on that. I'm like, oh man, you don't never do that. You don't never do that. BFTB be wrong in the motherfucker about shit, nigga, all the time. I'm talking about wronger than wrong can be, and you ain't gonna never hear him admit that shit.
Never.
Money Brown, another one. Money Brown to be wrong in a motherfucker, and he'll go to the grave. Now, me, I might be wrong about something. I ain't gonna tell you during the debate. I might say it after.
But no, it's all cool. It's all good. I ain't got no problem with it.
Keon done been to the graveyard. I done been to the graveyard. Nigga it got so bad with me and him. Nigga put me in the background.
BF?
Yes.
Hey,
put me in the background.
But credit to BF, because one thing he will tell your ass, if you come over here, nigga, you're not gonna overtalk me. And I'm saying here like, damn, you so I'll get everybody.
Because he overtalk people too. See, so me and him, we was having it out like, nah, blah 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 blah, and he kept on trying to overtalk me. So I was doing it to him, and he got mad. So I'm like, you're not gonna overtalk me if I don't want you.
But I will say this. Watch this now.
That's my guy.
I'm getting ready to throw my name out there on the table as well. I'm getting ready to throw my shit back out there. Hey, I guarantee that my next debate, I'm gonna be much. I understand how this shit gonna work now, and I'll be much more prepared. And a nigga coming to flame motherfuckers, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, it is what it is.
I hear you, brother. Just like I said, bro, we got a lot of rounds sparred over here, bro.
Hey, Coach. Coach.
I need
Coach, wrap it up. She about to kill you. And she about to follow on her face. That's her cue. Hey. That's her cue to you to get the fuck off this live.
All right.
He didn't pull the Shaw Porter.
Nah, she playing on her phone.
I just once y'all get in this, it's no longer coaching the queen. It's just coaching y'all.
Yeah, that was her cue for you to get the fuck off this live.
Hey, this was a fire ass live. This shit was, man. Keep this up, bro. Cause as long as y'all keeping this up, I'm jumping on with y'all. Cause these are topics that we need to be addressing in the community, and I love the topics that y'all are bringing. And I don't know of any other channel bringing these topics out that y'all are bringing out right now. So, hey, keep this up, and as long as y'all keep this up, I'm rocking with y'all. I'm definitely rocking with y'all.
Spread the word. Spread the word. That's
Yes,
all.
sir.
Hey, man, I appreciate everybody who came in the chat. I appreciate my brothers who came up on the panel. D5, Dub, my brother Key. And I appreciate y'all, bro. I really do. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate y'all showing up, man. Y'all show up next Friday, bro. We have some more fire content for y'all. Some more talking and, you know, just something different than boxing, man. Gotta have this shit to help our community out. So I appreciate everybody, man. So thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Great show. Great show.
Thank
Hey,
you.
you know I'm gonna have tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be at 1 p.m. your time. And so everybody, you know, I'm gonna have Brian Norman on tomorrow. I'm gonna do it live.
Yeah, I already put my notification on for that one.
That's a Georgia boy, Keon. What time? What time you going? Eastern time. Eastern time. What time will it be?
1 p.m. Eastern time.
All right, hey,
So that's
Brian Norman is
12
that
o'clock
dude.
our time.
Yeah, that'll be 12 o'clock your time.
Okay.
Brian Norman is a killer, bro. He a killer.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, y'all have a good night.
Hey, man,
All
love,
right.
man. Much love.
Much love.